Hail and well met. Welcome to the Dungeon Scrawlers playing Isekai Realms. That's the name of our campaign where we play ourselves sucked into the Forgotten Realms in the year 1372, 1373, 1372. Excellent. We established that. Well, when we arrived, we had no idea where we were. We still have very little idea where we are, but we're getting our bearings gradually. I am Eric Scott V, often a DM on this stream. And writer, game designer, and I have a Kickstarter for a novel that's coming out on Friday, or rather, the Kickstarter is launching on Friday, although you can get in early if you go to the link that will pop up when you put in !justice, the word justice. And it's called Libations for the Dead. It's about my Lady Vengeance character and her colleagues. It is a superhero novel. Kind of like your modern superhero sort of. It explains it better on the Kickstarter. I don't want to take up time. All right, and with that, take it away, Rhiannon.
Hey, I'm Rhiannon Held. I write urban fantasy as Rhiannon Held, and space opera is RZ Held. The last novella in my space opera series is now out. Yay! So if you're a completionist, it is complete, and you can read them all. I will put up a disclaimer that I know about my camera issues, and if I am in another window, perhaps the chat, and I don't notice them, I will be noticing them soon and fixing them, so don't freak out when my camera freaks out. And I have two sponsors to tell you about. Both make dice, awesome in different ways. Norse Foundry specializes in metal dice. When you roll them, it feels like you're skillfully smashing the rigid armor of the monster horde. They offer gaming accessories as well. You can find their store at norsefoundry.com. And Phoenix Dice is named for the creature that rises from the ashes because they use all recycled materials for their dice.
Oh, look at those.
They also have other gaming accessories and dice at phoenixdice.com.
Allie has a cat.
I do.
It's an alley cat.
Hi.
Oh,
I guess that means it's my turn.
It is, yeah.
Hi there. I'm Alexandra Pitchford, or Allie, and this is my cat Cynthia. Hello. And I am an author and game designer and TTRPG streamer. And well, you can usually find me on Twitter at LexiPhoenix. I have a Patreon, patreon.com/Alexandra Pitchford. And today I want to tell you about one of our other sponsors, which would be Idle Champions of Forgotten Realms. Idle Champions is a strategy game that unites iconic D&D characters from novels, campaigns, and popular shows into one epic adventure, including Farida from the Brimstone Angel novels. Brain went blank all of a sudden. All right, I'm good. The game is available for PC and Mac on Steam and web, Epic Game Store, Google Play, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, iPad, iPhone, and on all Android devices. And it's still midwinter this week, so if you want to get the character Fen from the Black Dice Society, I definitely suggest checking that out. So for more information, do check out idlechampions.com.
Hello, everybody. I'm Joel Everett. I'm usually one of your mods cutting up in the chat as Rumpus Imperator, and I am here playing myself. Randy?
Hi, I'm Randy. I'm playing me. I'm a member of the Dungeon Scholars and an author, and just filling awkward silence till Chris steps in.
Oh, there you go.
It's the bard, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway.
I'll sing you a song.
Yeah.
Waiting for Chris. Waiting for Chris. Yeah.
That helps me. That really does, Brandy. I appreciate that. Or Randonius, as I should call you. All right. So, yes, I'm Chris, your humble dungeon master. Well, I'm your dungeon master. And you'll note that there have been some changes underneath the names and to the names of some of our characters here this evening. Some of them have taken names, some of them have had names given to them since their appearance in the realms. And we had a discussion in the Hangout before tonight's game about character classes. And so you'll see that we've made our best guesses about where they might be starting out their adventure on Toril. In what state. We have someone who actually managed to be a second level character to start with, which is a rare achievement in my game. So you will die last. Just as a piece of good
Yay?
news, or bad, depending upon your circumstances. But anyway, so pay attention to that and let us know what you think about what the changes that have occurred. All the question marks have gone away. In terms of where we left our heroes, if you recall from our last game session, we left the woods around Redansir, passed through a portal atop a giant rock in those woods, and found ourselves under the sewers of Westgate, late on Midsummer's Eve, before Midsummer Festival Day. There was a conversation that occurred between Eric and his sponsor, for want of a
Apparently.
better term. And he has been given a great responsibility, along with what he has done on his own, to acquire a sword of some importance. There have also been internal conversations underway between Rhiannon, Ali, and aspects of the Mark, which we'll probably hear a bit more about in the not so distant future. So exactly what was happening before we last left was the players had moved from atop that rock into an ancient temple, abandoned temple, ruined temple under the sewers of Westgate. They were huddled amongst themselves discussing their recent developments, and Oldor and May, the two NPCs that they picked up in the town of Redansir, or who picked them up in the town of Redansir, depending upon their perspective, were attempting to exit the chamber through a hole in the ceiling, rubble and a fallen pillar leading to that hole in the ceiling, to get into the sewers to be able to move into the city of Westgate. Oldor had pushed half of his body through it and was trying to orient himself up there. And on the ground below him, maybe 20, 30 feet, May was calling up to him. They were exchanging information. And then with a scream, he was pulled bodily through that hole into the beyond. So that is where we pick up.
Well,
May
he's
will
fine.
scream and begin trying to scramble up the pillar after Oldor. What would all of you like to do?
Do we still hear him
May,
screaming?
no,
Yes.
stop, May, stop.
Nope, don't like that. Don't like that.
Okay, so Randy will attempt to get May to stop.
Yeah.
She'll throw a panicked glance over her shoulder at you, perhaps to see why you're trying to say that, but her limbs are still moving and she's pretty dexterous. So she's making her way up that pillar.
I will scramble up the pillar, try just to grab her ankle and sort of like,
Pull her
stop
down.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, or at least, yeah, stop her from. I don't want her to like fall and get,
Hurt.
fall damage. Yeah.
Baby check. Who's
Yes.
holding?
Oh, yes. The babes were in the hands, one of Rhiannon, one of Randy. I think you had come up with some names for them potentially at the end of the last session.
Yeah.
So I don't know who's holding who,
I forgot about the
but I
baby.
know one. And Rhiannon, you were being the DM's helper. Thank you very much. Randy, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to hand off that baby.
Yeah,
first.
I'll hand off the baby, whoever I'm passing as I'm running to.
Teacher,
May.
you forgot homework.
Yeah, yes. Thank you. Eric?
Oh man.
I'm holding a big glowing sword, so maybe don't hand me the baby.
But you and your big glowing sword are happy down here on the ground?
No, we're obviously going to go after whatever the hell that thing was.
Yeah, I'm
I'm going to
stick
try and
with Eric.
climb that pillar.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll
Yep.
go around the room. Randy sprang into action first and went dodging over in the direction of May, trying to make her way up the pillar. He hands off the babe to. It's
am I
not going to
passing?
be
Joe? No. Allie?
Allie.
No.
Will you take the babe
Rhiannon?
that was offered
Other
to you?
arm?
I mean, I was gonna try to help Eric, but
Okay,
No?
I
so
would- like
I'll
I
set the
don't
baby on the
honestly
ground if
have
I
a
need to. It just to,
problem
like,
with like being the one who stays behind and like holds the babies rather than like attack, because I don't see that I'm
yeah, I'm
gonna
not,
accomplish much by attacking. So
yeah.
Okay.
I'm definitely not attacking. I'm just trying to stop May from getting herself killed.
So Randy will with Rhiannon, figure out what to do with the babe, which will slow you down a smidge. She's about halfway up the pillar at this point. It's about 30 feet. She's about 15 feet the way up it. As I said, fairly nimble.
We're not going to stop her.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
No.
Eric
Even if we
is-
wanted to, I don't think we can.
Eric
As
is hot on her
Rhiannon-
heels. Is that correct, Eric?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Rhiannon.
I was gonna say, like, as Randy's like shoving a baby at me, I'm gonna say, like, I think May's the one who is best like equipped to deal with this of all of us.
But she also said she was out of spells.
No, true.
So
Okay.
So
Um,
now Joel is the best equipped out of all of us to deal with this.
Well,
I'm
Joel
not the
has
one holding Vindicator, but yes, okay. Let's pull. Let's go up the. Let's go
Sure.
up to the hole and see what I can see.
All right, so here's what I've got going on. I have Eric trying to follow May up the pillar.
Right.
Eric, if you could kindly roll percentile dice for me.
Uh-oh. All right,
Uh-oh.
here we go. That would be 16.
Okay, that's an excellent piece of news because even as a regular human, you've got a 40% chance to shimmy your way up that pile of rubble. And so you will begin sort of probably by looking to see where she's placing her feet, following her up.
Mhm.
She's got about a 15-foot head start on you, but you won't be that far behind her. Randy, you'll get to the base of the pillar and realize that now Eric's in your way, trying to stop her getting up there. So
Yeah.
there's no grabbing her. I mean, maybe you could huzzer rocket her and hope to knock her off, but that might not be the best approach. And Joel, did you say you wanted to follow Eric?
I am. Though if I get there and he is still close, still low enough, I will instead let him either stand on my shoulders or my hands to help boost him up until he's clear.
Okay, so you will do what you can to assist him climbing, and then he will begin to climb.
And then once he's out of reach, follow him up.
Got it.
Yes.
Rhiannon, you're comfortable on the ground down here. Okay. Allie, how about you?
I had intended to also follow up.
Okay. So you're a hair's breadth. If you'd like, you can attempt to maneuver past Joel as he's helping Eric, or you can wait sort of your turn in line,
Well,
depending upon how you perceive that.
Urgency being kind of key here. I feel like I think I would try to kind of maneuver around.
All right. Roll percentile dice for me if you would.
All right.
Now you are a first level thief, so that gives you a 60% chance of success. At least.
I got 8.
All right, that's even better than a 16. And so you will, surprising even yourself with your nimbleness, manage to maneuver around those two as they're boosting themselves up and scamper behind her. So it's her, you about 10 feet behind her, Eric about 15 feet behind her. So I'll
Okay.
come back to the rest of you on the ground in a minute.
All right.
There is a growling coming from the other side of that hole. Those of you on the pillar can hear it now. Oldor is still sort of screaming, but it's kind of choking off a little bit. And May is reaching the top to make her way through the hole. As she gets to the top, she pauses for an instant, snaps her 2 fingers together, and a small globe, no bigger than a 20-sided die, of jade green light appears in her palm, lighting the area immediately around her. That'll slow her down a smidge and allow you, Allie, to catch up with her if you'd like.
All right. Yeah. I'll keep going and catch up.
Same with you, Eric?
Yeah.
Okay, and Joel, you're now mounting the pillar. Do you guys have any concern that maybe you've got several hundred pounds on this pillar at the moment, or is that not really a problem?
Apparently not.
Okay, fair enough. Apparently not, it is.
Me and Joel might have thought of it.
Does the pillar swaying at all before I climb?
No, it looks,
Okay.
looks solid. Looks like a solid pile of rubble. It's a totally solid pile.
Solid pile of rubble.
Joe, why
Okay.
don't you roll percentile dice for me? And I'm going to roll a crazy, let's see if the pillar collapses roll.
0-3.
Pillar did not collapse, didn't even sway. So great news. Okay, so you guys are like trying to compete with each other for best role of best climber. We should set the next adventure on K2, and you're now scampering up behind them. She'll pause for a moment, Allie, and then just sort of roll through that opening. Oldor sort of had to climb through it. She's small enough comparative to Oldor that all she needs to do is pull herself through and roll to get into the sort of like passageway beyond. Would you care to follow her?
You know what? Yeah, sure.
All right. Do you want to attempt something nimble, or are you content to just push yourself through that hole?
I can try, but I'm also well aware that I am 6 feet tall. So
Okay, so no, let's not do anything crazy.
Yeah.
Let's comfortably get through the hole. All right.
yeah.
So when you do that, you don't have to roll. That's the great news. You can now see into the room beyond. It's a passageway, I guess I would describe it.
Mhm.
Probably about 8 feet tall by about maybe 8 feet wide, rough hewn. So a natural passageway. It wasn't crafted at any point, sloping slightly up. It runs north to south. And in the direction of the north from where you are, on the ground is a crumpled form. Over that form on the ground is a thing out of nightmares, which I will describe to you in slightly greater detail in a moment. The only light in here that really allows you to see it is the faint light that's coming from the palm of her hand, as she has whatever she's conjured to provide her with a little bit of light. That's 5 foot radius clear light, but gets the 12 feet away that this thing is so that you can see it. And it also happens to have like reflective glowing red eyes. It was a man once, maybe a fisherman from at least some of what it was wearing, but its clothing is torn into tatters and it's wearing the remains of its own burial shroud. Its hair is wild. Its eyes are wild pits of redness. It's fanged, and its fangs are dripping with Oldor's blood because it's atop him like a wild animal savaging at his neck. He is whimpering in the fetal position with it half atop him. It doesn't seem to care that you've come up here, doesn't seem to care that May has come up here. Eric is right behind you. Do you want to do something or wait for him?
Well, I'm like half through the hole, right?
That was you coming through.
That was coming through. Okay. I'm going to I'm gonna have my weapon out. I'm gonna step up next to, was it May?
May.
Her name? Yeah, I'm gonna step up next to her and I'm just gonna be like very quietly, hand on the shoulder, and just shake my head for a moment.
Don't go in there. No, don't go in there.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. So you'll put she looks panicked. She's trying to
Yeah.
figure out what to do. And you'll put your hand on her shoulder. She'll almost leap out of her skin when you do that. And she'll say, my magic is spent. What is that thing?
Some kind of like very, very like pitching my voice low, just like some kind of feral vampire. I don't know.
Okay. She'll look panicked when you say the word vampire. Eric, that brings you through the hole. Tell us about your emergence from the hole, Eric.
Well, I'm 6'7", so I get through the hole. The sword's glowing, right?
Sword leading or sword trailing?
Sword leading.
Okay, so your sword, if I recall correctly, drips silver fire, does it not?
Correct.
Okay, it may not be silver fire, but it
Right.
looks like it for all intents and purposes.
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
So you're leading with that, which will immediately throw a little bit more light into the area. So, getting everyone's attention in that regard. You'll get a nice clear view of what's going on with Oldor and his new friend. And as your sword comes through and you've pushed enough of yourself through to be able to actually, control where it's going, you'll notice that the creature, for want of a better term, will narrow its eyes and look up in your direction, letting go of Oldor. Do you want to?
Not
do
good.
something there? Eric?
Back, creature of nightmare.
So you want to scramble to your feet and hold the sword as if perhaps it
Oh,
were
yeah.
a cross or something? Is that your plan?
Power of justice compels you.
I see. Excellent. All right. If you could roll a 20-sided die for the power of justice for me.
Oh no.
I literally rolled a 1, Chris.
Okay, fair enough. Literally rolled a 1. It seems unconcerned about the power of justice. It does not give ground, but you'll notice that it is now looking at you.
Oh, okay. Well,
Let's go back into the chamber below for a moment. Joel, you're scrambling up and reaching the top. Now you're still luminescing. And so
Okay.
when you reach the top, your luminescence will sort of go into the chamber above, and you'll now create about a 20-foot radius of light, like sort of warm yellowish light, as you're going to emerge up there. So that's going to change things in the next round. But first, we have both Rhiannon and Randy downstairs. You're, I wouldn't say alone because you have 2 babies with you, but you're down here while the rest of your party seems determined to force their way up there. Do you guys want to do or say something?
We're also in pitch black, I think, because everyone took their lights with them.
You do still have the benefit of the dim luminescence from Joel's light because he has yet to emerge from the hole. And so it's a radius of luminescence. The chamber is only about 60 feet in total diameter. His light is about 30 feet in diameter within it. So it's still dimly lighting the recesses of the chamber and really nicely lighting that pillar up. But yes, when he leaves the room, you're only going to have whatever reflected light is coming from upstairs.
What do you
Well,
want
I
to do?
mean,
Rhiannon?
well, first, expose the mark and like concentrate to see if I can get that to glow.
All right. Yes, you can. It will glow with a light red light, enough to illuminate about 5-foot radius around you.
Develop some photos, you know.
Andy?
I'll look to the babies and look to Rhiannon and be like, I don't want to take the babies into danger, but then I don't want to get left behind either.
Go.
We should go up?
No, you go.
Oh, you want me to leave the baby with you? Okay.
I mean, I can tell that like you really feel like you need to be up there. So
I really don't. I mean, I wanted to stop Mary from going up. I didn't want to go up there. I guess, but everyone else.
why stop May and not like one of us though? I mean, nothing against, you know, the people here, but
No. Like if May was going to go up there alone, I thought she was just going to get snatched up through the hole right after
Oh, okay.
Oldor. But like we got our best fighters, essentially the people who actually know how to fight are all up there. I mean, I'm not trying to like cower down here or anything. I'm just like, I'm not sure what I would add up being up there other than, well, I guess I can be a target. I'll go here, have the baby. I will go up the pillar to potentially act as a diversion.
A human
just-
shield. A human shield, Randy.
Just describe
necessarily a
the bard
shield, but-
experience.
Yeah, to act as a diversion.
All right, fair enough. So I'll have you roll in a moment to scamper up that pillar, you little scamp. But
All right.
meanwhile, up top, we have Allie out of the hole, standing next to May. We have May. You're stunned that you've just told her that there's a vampire chewing on Oldor. Eric, attempting to use the power of Helm to compel it to retreat. It's not retreating, but it is at least not savaging Oldor on the ground. Paying attention to Eric instead. You started 12 feet away, Eric. I assume you stepped forward to at least 10. How close do you want to get?
Yeah, 10.
Like that? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Well, I will slowly walk toward it, brandishing the sword.
Okay.
Note that I am not brandishing the sword on the stream because Twitch doesn't like it when you brandish weapons on the stream.
All right. Good to know. Good to know. I did not know that about Twitch, but then again, I'm not brandishing a lot of weapons, so that hopefully won't be a problem for me. Okay. So you will begin moving toward as if you are attempting to threaten the creature with the weapon.
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
If
Allie,
the
you
power
wanna-
of justice won't do, the power of great violence will have to do.
There you go. Allie, you want to take any action this round now that you see Eric moving in on the creature?
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna let Eric stand against this thing by himself. So yes, I'll start moving into like at
Now
least trying
you
to
are
maneuver.
you are armed with a short sword that Eric gave you, correct?
Yes.
This
Could you
short
roll a
sword,
20?
to be
Could you roll
precise.
Could you roll a 20-sided die for me, Allie?
Yes. Rolled an 11.
What do you remember about vampires?
Me specifically.
Yeah,
that-
you specifically.
I'm trying to remember in D&D terms that this is probably not going to be terribly effective against them more than anything.
You have concerns that maybe the
Yeah.
weapon you have is not up to this particular task.
Maybe a little bit.
Okay, just
Allie's
let
over
everyone understand that as you're about to move in and poke at this thing.
Allie's over
But-
there trying to separate D&D and Vampire the Masquerade knowledge. Like,
Yeah. Yeah,
There's
Vampire the
definitely an
Masquerade.
overlap.
Vampires use swords against each other a lot.
There you go. Maybe that'll work out. All right. So Joel, you'll simply be coming through the hole this round. Eric,
Okay.
why don't
Yep.
you roll a 10-sided die for me? Allie, why don't
Okay.
you do the same?
is this an initiative thing?
It is. Add 4 to yours, Eric. Allie, add
Okay.
2 to yours.
All right.
I got a total of 5.
Okay, total of 5.
I got 12.
Okay, so you'll be going later. Eric, we're leading off with you. Do you simply wish to threaten the creature, or do you want to attempt to attack it?
Oh, I take a swing at it, definitely.
All right. If you could just roll a 20-sided die for me as you swing in with your flame-dripping blade.
Natural 20, Chris.
That's excellent news. You're going to notice a couple of things. Number one, you're going to notice the open-ended 20 system that I described to you before, which allows you to roll again to see if you can get another natural 20.
That was a 12.
All right, so no. And the second thing that you're going to notice is that before you met Helm's whatever in a place outside of space and time, this sword was exceptionally well balanced. It felt good in your hands, but you still realized, I mean, okay, what do I really know about using a bastard sword? I know it's, the pointy end, et cetera, et cetera. You'll now grasp that somewhere along the way, you've picked up the knowledge of not only how to use a bastard sword, but how to use a bastard sword expertly well. Maybe it's the bastard sword that's figured out how to use you. There's always that possibility. But for whatever reason, you're not just good, you're damn good with this thing now, Eric.
Hey, look at that.
So if you could roll damage for me. Standard against a man-sized creature with a bastard sword, I think it's 2d4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay.
That'd be 4 and 3. So
All right, so 7 points of base damage just from the weapon alone. Now, just so you can start to keep track of this yourself, you also get the +3 for the weapon.
So it's
So
10.
that's 10. I'm going to give you at least a +1 for a strength bonus because you're a big fella.
I am.
So that's 11. And well, Eric, you're specialized with this bloody thing,
Sweet.
which gives you +2 to damage.
Sweet.
So that's 13 points. You will, spilling the silver dripping fire from this blade, draw a mark across this creature's chest, and it will roll, staggering and smoking back away from Uldor on the ground. It looks surprised that
The
you were
power
able
of
to do
massive
that.
violence.
Compels you. And everyone else in the room is pretty surprised too. It wasn't just the vampire. When that occurs, May will go running for Uldor on the ground. she was going right after you, and she'll just go straight over him and basically throw herself over his body on the ground. You're feeling pretty damn good about yourself, Eric. Pretty damn good. Joel, you saw that. That was pretty impressive.
Pretty
and you
cool.
climbed yourself through the hole. Allie, your 12 is up.
All right. I'm looking at the sword. Like, I just don't. This is not.
That is not trailing silver fire, nor does it seem
No.
like you feel like you really know how to use that thing.
Well, I mean, I've had some training with bladed weapons. I have,
Certainly,
but
certainly, yes.
But yeah, I'm gonna go to May and Uldor and try to like help the two of them, or at least try to like, yeah.
She'll
somehow.
say, "Help me get him back," and she'll start to try to drag him.
Okay, yeah, I'll help with that then, because I can't do anything with this thing. So with the vampire anyway. So I'm gonna like start trying to move Uldor.
Gotcha. All right, so you'll move back towards the hole.
Mhm.
Joel, you're up out of it. Please roll a 20-sided die for me.
15.
You're on your own. What do you want to do? You're casting light at about now a 15-foot radius, so you can see the creature. It's at the edge of your light. It looks wounded and surprised that it was wounded. Eric looks triumphant standing over it with his blade.
Does it seem like it's reacting to my light at all?
It noticed you, but it's more concerned about the fact that Eric just laid it open with a weapon.
Okay. Well, my weapon is currently not magical, so I'm going to rush it and try to grapple the vampire to give Eric a better shot at it next time.
Okay.
Definitely not going to stab Joel. or
Joel,
anything.
could you roll a 20-sided die for me?
9.
What do you know about vampires?
Well, if he turns into mist and runs away, I think we're doing okay. So they drink blood. They don't like garlic. Can't cross running water. I'm trying to remember what the rules are in D&D. It also depends.
Anything special about first or second edition vampires that makes them different from the ones in later editions?
I know that in some demi-human vampires have different vulnerabilities. I don't know. That's.
I'm gonna let you ponder that as we roll into next round. All right, Randy, please roll percentile dice for me.
Okay. Seven.
All right, again, you guys are competing, but we are just going to have a campaign where mountains are climbed every single week. That's what it's going to be from now on. The dungeon mountain
Oh, is that
climber. or something
Good.
like that.
All right.
Yeah, the lower the number, the better when you're rolling percentile dice.
All right,
So,
all right.
okay, so you will again scamper up this rubble pile / pillar, and you'll actually be able to get up it fast enough that you'll see at the end of the round what these
Yeah.
crazy guys are doing up there. So Rhiannon, I'm confident you're reasonably comfortable where you are.
I mean, even if I could climb with 2 babies.
Yeah. I mean, who wants to really?
And
and I'll-
in the case of the inevitable like attack from behind, I do have the shield magic. So
Sudden but inevitable betrayal. Understood. In your mind, as you are looking up in the direction of the hole, and you see Randy.
the
scampering
voice.
up
What does the
into it,
voice thing?
The voice says to you, "I could teach you to burn it with fire."
The monster? Because I'm not here for like burning down this old temple around us. I mean, it's stone, but you never know. Burning things.
Anything really, but I assume that you would probably want to burn whatever is hurting your friend.
Yeah. What's the price here?
Just a bit of your power expended to learn that. And once you've learned it, it's yours.
So it's an opportunity cost. I learn this. I can't learn something else. That's the
There is
Payoff here?
only so much power in the mark.
okay.
Every little bit of it you spend, if you don't have a way to replenish it, is gone, at least for a time.
Is there a way to replenish it that I can find later?
Nothing to
Silence
say
from the
on that
voice.
subject. Nothing to say on that subject.
I mean, if I'm dead before like replenishing time, like there's gonna be nobody to replenish. So I'm gonna thumbs up the fire.
All right, I'll keep that in mind. Okay, so meanwhile, back upstairs, our encounter with Lestat. So Eric, do you wish to continue to pound on that thing with your glowy magic sword that you're so good with?
Yes.
All right, Allie, this round dragging Uldor away, basically to the edge of the hole.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know that one thing that's going to be going through my head, because it's me and I know myself, is that I would be very frustrated that I realize I can't do anything. That feeling of not being able to really help is going to a lot of self-beration, certainly a lot of self-flagellation.
I shall keep that in mind as well.
Hmm.
Randy?
I'm going to stay where I can both still see down the hole to where Rhiannon is and see what's going on ahead of me. Just in case I want to slide down the pillar if she needed aid for some weird reason. I'll be like, hey, vampire creature thing. I'll be like, now we got problems.
This is not
sure hope we
pre-horny
can't
bard,
solve
is it?
them. Eric made a real deep cut. That vampire sure wants our blood. Hey!
All right, so a little performance to boost the morale of the group.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, excellent.
Is that what it's supposed to do?
It's certainly boosting our morale here, and that's the key element. Joel,
And I'll go guys, go team.
have you be aggressive, be aggressive. Joel, have you decided that in fact line tackling the vampire is the way to go?
Did I try to do that last round or no?
I was asking you, the hole
Okay.
was your, vexation last round. Now you're ready.
Okay. In that case, I will have my sword out and try to move out to flank the vampire to give an attempt to give Eric advantage, but I'm in full defense, just keeping the
Gotcha.
sword between me and the vampire because I don't think I'm going to be able to hurt it.
All right, sounds entirely fair. All right, so Randy, you don't need to roll initiative because what you're doing, you're just doing. Everybody else, however, with the exception of Rhiannon, who's downstairs bargaining with fire, can please roll a 10-sided die for me. Add 3, Joel, add 3, Allie, and add 4, Eric.
13. Slow this round.
Slow this round. Allie?
8.
8, and Joel, 4, did I see?
5.
5,
Gives me
okay.
time to get into position.
All right. So Joel will actually move first, sort of skirting around the vampire, right? Trying to draw its attention away from you, Eric. It will look in Joel's direction, look back at you, and look over at Joel. Eric, you're trying to move in on it. The way initiative works in the second edition is it's perceived to be not necessarily the precise moment you act, but the moment where you get your best strike, that sort of thing. So you're engaged in combat with it. You just haven't been able to get through its guard as it's eyeing up Joel. Allie, you've dragged Uldor along with May back to the opening. And Randy, you are providing support to the group with your song stylings, which I like, I got to tell you. And so Joel, this is a good news, bad news situation. The good news is you have distracted the vampire. The bad news is you have distracted the vampire. And so it will lunge at you.
Oh, Joel.
Fortunately, the vampire rolled a 3, Joel, which hits even your paltry armor, or which misses even your paltry armor class. But although not by as much as you'd think, it basically leapt off the ground at you, bloodied face and awful corrupted claws, and rebounded off the wall near where you were standing. You'll have a moment of sheer terror, which you will feel the mark clamp down on. Actually, come to think of it, all of you up there are aware that the mark is doing something to suppress your terror. Eric, you've gone beyond terror, buddy. And so you may not even need that anymore. But everybody else seeing this sort of realizes, wow, that's a thing that was eating a person. I should be scared now. Oh, okay, that's good that I'm not. You kept it together though, Joel, and didn't run screaming down the hole uncontrollably. That's a plus.
Well, that'll save on us having to find clean underwear. So that's good.
There you go. It is one of the curses of the inevitable play yourself game. You've got to find clean underwear at some point.
That's right.
You've got to do it. Eric, we're up
Yep.
to you again.
Okay, I'm gonna take a swing at that thing. Is that a Taylor Swift song? Okay,
You bet it, buddy. Go.
I rolled a 12.
All right. So your THAC0, Eric, is base 20, -1 for strength, -1 for specialization, -3 for the weapon. So your THAC0 is
15.
15. You rolled a 12.
12. So I hit
Which means you
AC
hit
3.
AC 3, which is AC vampire. So damage?
Sweet. AC Vampire is my favorite AC to hit in this particular battle.
Yeah, that'd be,
So I got a 3, and I believe that we decided it was +6 total.
Plus 3 for the
Yes.
weapon.
6
yes,
total. So it
six.
should be 9 points of
9
damage.
points. All right. You will lay open another wound dripping with fire, cauterizing as it goes along the ribs of this thing, and it will turn to run.
Oh,
That gives you another attack on it.
great. I will definitely take that other attack on it. I rolled a 19.
All right. So you'll hit yet again. More damage.
Excellent. All right, so 3 and 3. 6 + 6, 12.
All right. It will scamper off howling with pain, trailing like silver flame from the wounds that you've inflicted on it south along the passageway. As its screams die down, you find yourselves alone, sans vampire, in the hole above. What do you wish to do?
I applaud Eric. Well done, sir.
Thanks. Is everyone okay? How's our friend
so-
Allie?
I would be checking that actually. How is he?
Quite ragged looking, actually. May is pawing for a potion in the satchel that she is carrying and attempting to pour it down his throat. He has a ragged, torn wound in his neck from where the vampire was worrying on him. He looks extremely pale, and his hair has gone a little white, almost as if he has been drained of some of his life.
Well, at the very least, I think one thing I will do is I will pull off my jacket and kind of wad it up and just kind of push it against the wounds to at least try to stem the bleeding.
That's an excellent choice. She will whisper a thank you to you as she pours the contents of the potion down his throat and encourages him to drink. Is no one shocked at how good Eric is with that bloody thing?
I'm a little concerned. I'm a little. I noticed.
I don't know
Okay.
his skill, so I
Okay. Okay,
impressed.
like I talk a big game, but this is clearly a magical thing, and yes. So,
And yes.
All right.
Okay, yes.
like I know how to use a sword, but this is beyond that.
Not like that. Okay.
Wow.
I'm real good with this thing.
Eric, it's not a lightsaber. Stop it.
Sorry, I just boom. I have to make the sound. Boom.
I'm still got my hands pressed to this wadded up jacket.
Yeah.
soaking up the blood. And I'm just
That-
Right. Okay.
Really?
I
And that
come
jacket,
over.
that jacket is a loss, Allie. That jacket is
Oh,
a
yeah.
loss.
yeah,
Hey,
oh, yeah.
I feel you. I'm not there, but like,
Okay.
I'm sure we're vibing.
Okay.
Yeah.
We
Let's
need to. Did you leave Rhiannon alone down there?
I can see her, and I was just going to say I'm going to slide down the thing so that
Okay. Yeah.
take one of the babies so she can join us. Let her
don't
know
split the
everything's
party.
cool.
Hey, Joel, do you know medical stuff?
I know a fair amount of first aid, so let's
Okay.
go ahead and check and see if he's going into shock.
Okay. The good news is that the potion she just poured down his throat sealed that ragged wound. It's
Okay.
scarred, but it's sealed.
Cool.
The bad news is he's taken more than just physical damage. And so he's weak as a kitten. And she is panicked over the fact that she can't seem to make that better. So she'll look up at you, Joel, as you approach and say, we have to get him to help. We have to get him to help.
So he's been level drained. That's
Do you want to say that to her? So he's been level drained.
No.
That's what second edition vampires do. That's
Right.
Or they drain
Yeah.
Constitution, depending on
He's-
whether or not you're in Ravenloft.
I will try
Okay.
to phrase it in a way that isn't couched in mechanical terms that they would not understand.
Well,
We're
okay.
speaking Planeswalker. Okay.
I wanna talk to May and reassure her that it's gonna be okay while Joel does his thing. So
Okay, so the three
Yeah.
of you will work on her. She'll say, I have a friend. It's the same person that I was going to try to take you to.
okay,
Her house is in town. We have to get there, but
I
I'm going
agree.
to need help moving him.
we're gonna help you.
Yeah, we are.
I'm glad you closed that wound. Thinking to myself, I was gonna cauterize it with the sword. So I'm glad the potion worked.
He's a killer and a doctor, people. He has everything.
Yeah.
The same tool.
Okay, so
Okay, so
back
we need
down
your
below. Hang on, back down below, we have Randy rejoining Rhiannon. The R's are back together. Team R. The pirate.
Arr.
Okay, so what are you guys gonna talk about down there?
Is it dead?
It's Eric. Well, Eric. chased it
No,
away.
it's not dead.
Eric chased it away. He battled it. He was pretty impressive with that sword. I
No,
think
okay.
I think maybe the sword was helping him. I'm not sure, but
Well, I would imagine.
so yeah, but it's safe to go up there. Sounds like we want to get Oldo's not doing great, so I think we want to get him to some help quickly.
Okay. Well, here, have one, baby.
thank
I'll
you.
the other one. I
Plus
don't know.
one baby,
I
Randy.
don't know if I'd be
Plus
very
one
good at
baby.
climbing with a baby in arms, but
Please take one baby.
Yeah.
And only one baby per
That's right.
customer. Yes.
One per customer.
Randy, I recall you had a little papoose thing going.
Yeah, I kind
oh,
of
that's
turned
right. Yeah.
my backpack into kind of a papoosey thing, so I'll do that again, and I'll use that to
Why that
we'll
word?
create things. So yeah, we'll do
I
a
don't like
relay
that
where I'll
word.
go up, drop off the baby up there, come down, grab the other one, lay it up there.
Okay. By the
Don't
time
just
you
put it on the floor.
I won't.
by the time you manage to get out of the hole in the ground with the two babies, we've gotten Oldor up sort of on his feet. One of you is going to need to help May, her on one shoulder, one of you on the other. It probably shouldn't be the guy with the glowing sword. So who'd like to be on Oldor duty?
I got it.
All right, Joel,
Fair enough.
you have like a good officer. You are on Oldor duty. All right, fair enough. So she will say, it's this way. It's about 3 long songs to the sewers and then about another 4 to the surface. Follow me.
Okay,
All
I
right.
will take the lead. Allie, you want to watch our back?
I got it.
Okay.
I will discard the ruined jacket and just leave it there because there's no reason to carry that with me.
Okay, please subtract that from your character sheet.
I will.
Okay.
Can I extinguish the silver flames? Because they're probably going to draw a lot of attention down here.
They seem to come up either when something interesting happens that the sword decides it wants them, or when you decide you want them.
That sounds about right.
And you seem to be able to put them out when there isn't something interesting going on.
Okay.
So
I'll keep the red light going though.
yes, for light, we're relying
Yeah.
on just Rhiannon and the little light that May has brought up.
I think so.
Am I no
I
longer
mean-
glowing?
Once you've moved about 10, 15 feet away from that chamber you were in, it guts out.
Okay.
You
So
think there might be some connection there.
you all can't be nightlights? I mean, that seems like the most easy, easy way to deal with not tripping over our own feet.
I have a really sharp flashlight.
Actually, I
anyone-
mean, that sounded like a joke, but that actually is a question. I am starting to wonder how different our marks are.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, mine just
so-
does a shield thus far.
Is my mark
Okay.
still there?
Yeah,
I'd like to
it's
think my
there.
spirit is a light, but you know, my mark.
Would you like to attempt to luminesce your marks by thought as you had done before?
I'm pretty sure I almost killed myself and the party when I did that last time, so I'll let someone else try this.
All right, fair enough. Anyone else?
I will, and I'll also think like if it could do like one of those cool like slowly shifting color, like red, yellow, green, like a nice pretty like party light kind of effect would be cool.
It starts
Yeah.
out with a sort of silvery light when you light it up.
Okay.
Rhiannon is a ruby red. Allie?
Oh.
Joel?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and see if I can get mine to fluoresce.
You can. It is also that same shade of ruby red that Rhiannon's is. Joel?
I will not attempt to light up. No.
All right. No light from Joel. Randy, you're trying to shift the colors.
Yeah.
You'll discover that you can shift them to that same ruby red if you want. Ruby red, silver, ruby red, silver.
Oh, interesting.
What does that mean then? Like that has me wondering now.
Well, okay. I guess did Eric never told us what Helm told him, right?
It hasn't come
He
up yet.
He started to talk about it, but then your friend got pulled off into a hole in the ground.
Right. If I start talking about it again, we're gonna get attacked. Let's find
okay.
somewhere safe.
Let's go.
Yeah, and we don't even know that he talked to. Oh no, we did know that he talked to him. Okay, because otherwise, okay. So I don't know. So when you asked me, what does that mean? I don't know. I mean, I thought silver meant like was Helm's color. Like
Not
Because-
necessarily.
no, okay,
No, silver fire.
because it's like your
Silver fire
sword
is
and-
is more commonly associated with Mistra, goddess magic.
Oh,
Mistra Illustrate uses silver fire a lot as well.
Again, I assume one is saying all of these things out loud.
Yes, although
Yeah.
I leaned in to be a
Yeah.
little less obvious.
is
I mean,
red
poor
associated with
May
anyone?
at this point.
She's fortuitously terrified and focused on saving her friend.
Okay,
So you guys
Yeah.
are no longer the big concern that she has in the world.
I see Winterborn 1-2 has given inspiration to Allie. Thanks for that. We might need that.
Thank you.
We
Excellent.
will need that.
buy a
You
new
sure will.
jacket.
Yeah, I know, right?
That would be
Time to
bling
replace
bling.
the wardrobe.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, go ahead, Eric. You were about to say something.
Nope, we're good.
Okay, so then we are moving along through the underground chambers. After about 15 minutes, gradually sloping up, curving around, you will begin to get the smell of filth and salt water in your nostrils.
Mm,
Westgate.
I think you might be coming to a sewer.
Seattle alleyways.
You
All right.
will press on for a few
Yeah.
moments, and you will note that your natural tunnel dumps you out through a jagged hole in a broken sewer tunnel wall into a sewer system. The place where you emerge, the sewer is about 8 feet by 8 feet with a slim and slippery walkway. That's dry along the
And I'll
side.
take it.
Maybe,
That would
eight-
be waiting.
maybe 18 inches wide. There is a foul-smelling sludge, brown and green, flowing sluggishly along the channel. It is most definitely a combination of poo and salt water.
Right?
It assaults your senses. Has anyone ever been in a sewage treatment plant or something like that before? Eric, why am I not surprised?
I mean, at the school
Oh.
field trip for science class, we drove around like between the treatment ponds, so
Yeah.
you don't get the like full. So, do any of the over-prepared types have some kind of like antiseptic or something that we could like put to at least try to
I had a bottle of Purell.
that? Yeah, that.
No.
That wouldn't do it. I have masks. I hand out masks to everybody.
Okay.
How many do you have? What are you going to say that they are? And do you have enough for all the kids?
I think I had a pack of 10, so
Okay. So do you want to offer them to Oldor and May as well?
yes.
I mean,
Okay.
just,
I will demonstrate. I'll put one on.
just say it's for the odor.
It's for the odor.
She'll be somewhat confused as to why we're all suddenly bandits, but happy to give it a shot. You're doing her a favor, so she's happy to take whatever you decide you want to offer her.
They're just white KN95 masks.
It'll help a little. But whether that was the masks or just your senses burning out so that you can't really smell anymore, it's anyone's guess.
Just get used to the smell.
You just do. Like many things in life, you just get used to it. What's your rough marching order?
I'm in front with the sword, ready.
Maybe
Allie,
Oldor and May
Allie said she
behind?
was taking up the rear.
Mhm.
And
That's cool.
May, Oldor, Joel, or maybe next. And then
Yep.
me and Randy can take babies before Allie.
Okay, babies before Allie. Got it. Check. All right. So you will move along. There'll be a couple of tense moments where the slipperiness factor of the sludge on the ledge will cause you to lose your footing, where you'll see something float by in the channel that could be a log or something else, where a half a dozen rats will scamper by over your feet as they're moving down the opposite direction of the corridor. But for the most part, you're moving without too much trouble and too much danger. You are going to stink. There is no way you are not going to stink. Just something to think about. After about 10 minutes, you'll pass into a larger section of sewer as you go through a junction, a four-way junction. And you're now in a 12 by 12 as opposed to 8 by 8 sewer section with your ledge about 24 inches wide. So you're feeling pretty good about that, even though slips are likely not to result in a slip and fall so much as just a slip. You'll begin passing storm drains and inflow pipes. And after about another 10 minutes, you'll arrive at a junction where she seems pretty happy that you've arrived at. She'll mutter a prayer of thanks. Someone is standing right next to her. That's Joel, right?
Mm-hmm. Do I
She
hear who
thank-
she thanked?
Yeah, she thanked Finder, Finder, whatever that is. Okay.
I know who that is. But all right.
Because Joel heard it, I won't make the rest of the party roll for it because he can inform you later. But basically, she just thanked Finder for guiding her out of this place. She'll point across a 6-foot gap to a rung ladder that leads up and out of this sewer.
Oh God, ladders.
She'll say,
Uh-oh.
we're on the wrong side. Normally, I'd just leap across it. We could backtrack, but I don't really want to.
We're gonna have to wade through the sludge, aren't we?
How deep is the sludge?
How deep is the sludge?
I have something. I might be able to figure that out. She'll go back into that bag of hers again. What are you guys going to do?
How wide is the path? Is the sludge?
The jump's about 6 feet. Closest corner to closest corner.
I'll think about that shield that gets formed and see if I can like create a shield across the sludge that we could walk across. Like,
So I'll ask you a question, Randy.
okay.
In order to do something like that, you'd need
Yeah.
to call upon the power of the mark. And
Okay.
so far, when you've done that, you've
Right.
caused the gems on 2 of the knuckles
Oh, yeah.
to go
alright.
dim. Is that something that you want to use that power for?
I don't know. It smells pretty bad, but I guess I'll wait and see what our
I mean,
options are.
so, not to be the one who's like, oh, it's so dirty, but we have to consider infection as far as Oldor. Like,
Yeah.
Us is one thing, and I guess he doesn't have an open wound, but like, he's not going to be able to move through it very easily. And so if there's I mean, it would probably be worse to go around for him, but like as far as thinking about problem solving, like that's what I think we should focus on as older.
Yeah. Is there a pole or like a long stick or something or a chain?
Funny you should mention that. Coming out from her bag, May has what looks like a folding ruler, but really what it is a sort of like stick about 12 inches folded against a stick about 12 inches folded against a stick about 12 inches. If you've ever been in the Aurora's Home Realms guide, there's an entry in there for this device, which is just basically an unfoldable pole. Begins unfolding it in an attempt to plumb the depths of the filth.
Okay. How deep does it appear to be?
About 4 feet.
How
If it were,
swiftly is it moving?
Sluggishly, where you
Sluggishly, you said.
if it were like 2 feet deep, I could
Yeah.
stand in the middle and help people like jump across. But if it's 4 feet deep, that even I, as tall as I am not going to be all that useful at that.
And if we drop the babies in it, I'm really worried about that too. So.
Yeah.
Some of you can jump.
Yeah, I can broad jump 6 feet, but
Yeah, I could probably
That-
jump across that, but
yeah.
Can we toss Oldar across though? That's the real question.
That seems
how's
unlikely.
How's Oldor looking?
He's recovered to the point where he's sweating profusely from the exertion of having to move, but he's using the side of the wall to stabilize himself, so he can now stand on his own 2 feet. He's not running any marathons, but he's also not dying.
Okay,
He can
so-
wade across. He's also over 6 feet tall. If you took, say, maybe 2 tall people and put them on either side of him, only 3 people would get covered in poo.
How long is the extendable, the unfoldable stick?
Would at least 10 feet. I wouldn't try to use it to carry any weight, though.
Okay, that was, okay.
All right. Well, we determined that his wounds were closed by the potion. So he doesn't have any open wounds.
Correct.
All right. Who else is real tall and wants to do this? Joel, how tall are you?
I'm about 5'10".
I'm 6 feet tall.
So you've lost one
Right.
jacket tonight. You're gunning for the rest of your outfit.
All
We're
right.
gonna need to replace our clothes at some point anyway, because there's
that's
only
true.
so much one outfit's gonna cover.
That's true.
I mean, really, if one person goes to the middle and then somebody just steps on your shoulder to go the rest of the way across, I mean, 2 3-foot
Yeah.
steps should be.
If
Do
you're
it.
All
running-
right. It'll be my turn this time. Okay. God, fuck. Oh, and there was my one for the stream. All right. I think it's appropriate.
Down into
Yeah.
nipple high.
I think it's
I'm willing to
appropriate.
give you that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's only fair because you got the shiny sword. So.
you know, Rhiannon.
That's fair.
Okay.
Oh, look at
Yeah.
me. Look at me. I'm chosen by a god. Look at me.
I wasn't bragging about it. I'm trying to survive, just like, oh, this is gross. All right.
You will ease
Don't think
yourself
about
into the poo, Eric. You will ease yourself in. It's cold. It's a cold. It's just, please roll a 20-sided die. Remember how M really wanted you to spew? Here's your chance.
Thanks, Sam. I rolled an 8.
All right. So you will choke it down, buddy. You will not vomit into the sewer.
Threw
you
up a
will
bunch in my
instead-
mouth right there.
Yeah,
you
you'll
want to get
instead.
that sewage dirty.
Randy, is there an appropriate song for this? I feel like there should be.
Oh, you'll have to give me a second to think.
Okay, he's thinking that through. Meanwhile, you, Eric, are helping everyone else across. There you go.
Wade in the
Eric?
shit. Wade in the shit. Wade in the shit. My friend.
There you go.
Yeah.
Really, I don't know if the fact that it's cold is better or worse. Like, I
Hard to
don't
say.
know.
Hard to say.
I
Well,
would say
you'll-
better.
after about 5 minutes, you'll make it across. So thank you, Eric, for your noble service in assisting all of the rest of the party to arrive mostly dry on the opposite side of Pooh Valley. May will scamper up the ladder to check the top. There is a rectangular, like manhole cover, for want of a better term, made of some metal that's beginning to rust, that she will shoulder open and sort of quickly look around before she pushes aside. She invites the rest of you to join her. Eric, you should probably go last.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go
Yeah.
ahead and head up.
Okay. You will scramble up and into a dead-end alleyway behind the backs of an assortment of townhouse buildings, sort of like a little square, little dead-end square, with garbage, chunks of wood, bugs, rats, everywhere. But the air is
Smells better.
clear. It's sea air. You can smell the harbor. And that is just such an amazing relief after where you've been for the last half an hour of your lives. The moon in the sky is starting to set. So it must be fairly late or fairly early, depending upon your perspective. You guys are a bit of a wreck. Some of you stink more than others. And so May will say, I think we may need to avoid the watch while we're making our way across town so that there aren't too many
Right.
questions.
Right.
Probably for the best. Yes.
The buildings around you are tall and close, and the street is dirt packed, but there's no signs of anyone down this dead-end alleyway. The only thing you can see in the corners of your vision are the glowing eyes of cats, observing you rather dispassionately from their perches around this alleyway. Would you, Rhiannon, like to attempt to call one over? Okay. Do you have any special catcalling skills I should be aware of? And yes, I realize that could be taken many different ways.
I mean, I've had a lot of practice with
Okay.
various cats that I've owned over time.
Are you offering anything beyond your own natural charm as an inducement?
Curiosity, you see. I'm
So
sort of
I'm-
presenting myself as something that they might like to investigate and sniff in a non-threatening manner, but mostly in a sort of like, hey, I'm kind of interesting. Hmm?
Okay.
Okay.
I see Allie has a cat on screen so that we have an appropriate representation of what we're doing here.
Yes.
Is anyone else either attempting to do something like this, watching to see what happens with Rhiannon, or are you all just sort of like, oh, let's gather together, let's get into a marching order, let's get to where we're going?
I think after having walked through the sewers and smelling and nearly at least encountering a vampire and some of us potentially risking having gotten eaten, I know for my part, I think I would just be like, I just wanna go somewhere.
Is there like a
Rest.
piece of like kind of flat wood that Eric could like scrape off a little?
There are cleaner things in this alleyway than Eric, if that's what you're asking me.
I mean,
I'll wave at him and go, prestidigitation.
That will be a very dramatic gesture, which achieves no effect.
Ah, well, I tried it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay, so
This is
Eric,
a port city, right? Yes.
it is. It is a port city. Yes, somewhere around here there's a harbor.
Go jump in the harbor.
So
I'm
you
not sure it'll be
meanwhile-
much cleaner, but it'll be
Where do you
cleaner.
think the sewer empties?
Yeah, I know, right?
you get
So
it.
you'll attempt to take some of the more odorous chunks off of you. Everyone else is sort of forming up. Rhiannon, please roll a 20-sided die for me.
Ooh, that smell. Out of a song.
15.
These cats are fairly wary. They're not that interested. Maybe it's Eric that makes it so that they're really not interested in coming over to smell anything in your area. But you'll see that you got their attention. They look rough and tumble. These cats are alley cats, so they're thin. They've got bedraggled ears or missing portions of their tails. They're tough to be survivors on the streets of Westgate, especially with some of the things like what you encountered in the sewer or below the sewer wandering about these parts.
Mhm.
All right, you'll establish a rough marching order and make your way out onto the streets of this city. Yang Yang, there is a Westgate by night image, which is lurking behind me, which if you want to bring up some place for people to just sort of like have in the back of their minds as we're walking. This city is very European, I guess would be the best way to describe it, or Canadian, like a Montreal or a Quebec, for anyone who's been to one of those places. It's not very tall. The buildings are at most, 3-5 stories tall. The buildings are densely packed together. Streets are not terribly well organized. It has a very medieval feel to it, and it's fairly dark. That image has a lot of people on the street. There are not a lot of people on the street because it is the absolute middle of the night as you're emerging into this area.
Blessing and a curse.
It is. The streets here, you must be near a fairly big one because they're cobbled and they're fairly wide. There are lantern posts here and there with lamp lights hung from the lantern posts. And it looks like you're near the market, as there are an assortment of tents all folded and ready for tomorrow's midsummer festivities. There also are decorations all about, the most common of which are these paper lanterns, colorful paper lanterns, most of which are not lit up at this particular moment, but are strewn about in strings or one at a time all over the square, probably going to be in use tomorrow. You have a feeling that those are probably a sort of like Shao style and manufacture, but as I said, they're sort of omnipresent everywhere. There are not a lot of people on the streets, and those buildings that you can see sort of on the streets surrounding the somewhat triangular market square have their shutters down. They have these shutters that are designed to protect them against the elements and also perhaps predation from thieves. And there is a structure that dominates the market area, a tower in the center of it, with additional buildings that were cobbled together to be put against that tower. The tower appears to be at least 5 stories tall, and maybe a civic structure of some importance. She's trying to hustle you along to get you to move about as fast as you can. So there's not a lot of time for sightseeing, but I have to tell you, this is a pretty amazing sight. You were in a thorp, a hamlet a short while ago, which was itself impressive enough. You're in a city, a significantly sized city in the Forgotten Realms. So
amazing.
Yeah.
And I still feel like shit.
Well, you look like it too.
And
So
you
that's
smell
not-
I
like
smell
it.
like
I
it.
like it.
And you smell like
And I
it too.
sound like it. Okay, please get us to your friend.
Okay. So she'll begin guiding you. It's hard to tell what's north, south, east, and west around here, right? But if you're emerging near the market and the tower is to your right, she's taking you in the opposite direction of the tower, down a street. At the corner of that street, there is a impressive looking shop with a fairy fire lit sign with the squiggly letters that you can't see before, but it's got a sigil of some kind, fingers with what looks like magic erupting from them. So you would be shocked if it wasn't a wizard's shop of some sort. There is a raven theme that seems to repeat throughout the decor. Okay. That's on the corner.
My attention is captured by the raven theme and the all that. Because and again, I know me.
You will travel for about a block south, like left, right, away from the harbor. And you'll notice that in this big block of the city that you're encountering, there is a spired structure dominating the center of the city block. It's dark spired, looks kind of spooky, emerging from the center of that section. I know you guys have some familiarity with Westgate. So if there's something that you think you recognize, feel free to call it out, and I'll give you an opportunity to roll to determine whether or not it is what you think it is. But until then, I'm just going to roughly describe the buildings that you're passing. Fair?
Okay.
Okay. You'll move into that block. As you do move down the street with that block on your right, you'll see another tower structure, which is again built something like a fortress. Sign out in front, very similar. It has a sigil, although it doesn't have hands. It has like a flaming gout coming forth from a single hand exposed. And this place has gargoyles all about it. And you'll notice that creepy thing where if you're looking at the gargoyle, it looks like it's looking at you, but it's stone, probably. But there are gargoyles festooned around it for decor purposes, at least a half a dozen. Again, that has to be a wizard residence or shop of some importance. That's on your left, as the block with the spired building is on your right. As you are coming to the end of that street, you will hear marching footsteps in the distance. What do you want to do?
I look at
What direction are they coming
May
from?
to be prompted.
If you're going south, they're coming north. You'll
Alright,
look
so
to
they're
May.
approaching us. Yeah.
Anybody else want to do anything?
I would look for a spot like that's out of the way that we could duck
Yep.
into.
Yeah, some
Mhm.
shadows, shadowy
Yeah,
alleyway.
because we
Or
were
an alley?
we
Yes,
wanted
that
to
could
avoid the
possibly go
watch.
wrong.
Yeah.
All right, so great minds think alike, because that's actually what she was planning on doing, was
Perfect.
plunging you into that block instead of moving along the street that it was on. And so when you all immediately look in that direction, she'll nod at you and you'll all get off the main road. You'll catch a glimpse of the patrol as it's moving, sort of enters into your line of sight right before you disappear into the side street that you're headed down. It appears to be headed by a man in plate mail armor, clearly having the symbol of Tues, justice, in the center of it. And then the rest of the soldiers, about a dozen or so, are dressed in leather armor with metal helms and pole arms. But again, you saw them. They didn't necessarily see you as you plunged down this alleyway.
And it probably smells real bad in this alley, so they probably won't come and investigate.
You're here, Eric. So yes, it does smell fairly bad in the alleyway.
Has
Hidden
everybody
advantage.
has everybody extinguished their marks?
Oh yes,
Wanna-
that's a
Yes.
thank you for helping the DM on that one too, Joel.
just
I
wanna-
assumed in my
I
own
assumed,
head
but-
that when you got
okay.
to the surface that you might have put
Yeah.
those out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Joel, for pointing that out.
I'm just-
Don't need
Okay.
to like rave parade. doing
No,
like
that's a
little
good
things.
idea. Probably rave parades. Those come tomorrow. It's a holiday.
Like
All right. So you will hastily cross the street into that alleyway, deep into the block of town. This area of town is less illustrious than the area that you just left. Not that that one was wildly so. The shortcut you've been plunged down is in a somewhat decaying quarter of the city. The alley is wider, as if the buildings on each side of it didn't want to get too close to the greenish sewage that flows down the center of the lane, something akin to what Eric is wearing. The walls have been blackened by decades of grime and colored with graffiti. Any windows of doors that have once been open to the alley at ground level are walled over with mismatched stone, only slightly discrusted from the surrounding stonework. So you're in that quarter, which is a somewhat spooky one, moving quietly along. It's dark, it's shadowed, it's boarded up tight. It has decor, it's just significantly poorer than the rest.
I would like to say quietly to May, does it make sense to get back on the other road once the patrol passes?
Yes, we have to get through this across Tanaga Way.
Right.
Right. Okay. So you'll move. The spired building is sort of sliding now so that it's been on your right and it's now behind you as you're starting to leave this portion of the city, and you are about to cross a larger road when, could you all roll percentile dice for me?
okay.
06.
13. Wow.
31.
Rolling low.
82.
Who rolled the 82, Allie?
Yep, 82.
And Randy?
A 3.
3. Okay, so yeah, that's actually a pretty decent number of low rolls. The only people that will hear this, though, are Joel, Randy, and Eric. Rhiannon and Allie will not.
Okay.
Was that a choked off like scream of pain? Almost as if someone had been struck. There was an alley you just passed 30, 40 feet back. You didn't see anything in it when you were going along it, but then you were kind of on the opposite side of the... Eric, the hairs on the back of your neck will prick up.
Oh, yes. I sense injustice that needs to be smitten.
No, we
No.
don't have
No.
not our problem.
And on that note, we'll take our first break.
All right, don't go away. We'll be right back. And we're back. Welcome back to the second part of our Isekai Realms chapter tonight. This will not be the end of Isekai Realms. Do not worry, unless we all die. I want to remind
In the
everybody
game,
that
not the
I
game.
am launching my Kickstarter, which is going live on Friday. I put a link in the chat. You can sign up to be an early supporter, and we'll just give you notifications. We have giveaways that are coming up next week. I don't think we're giving away anything tonight, but there is another set of Norse Foundry dice. In fact, I have it right here. And we're giving this away next week. Cruciferous Kale won last time and just got their dice today, which is pretty great. So these things are awesome. Please come to our game next week and for your chance to win. Also, we have a bunch of fiction that people are doing. You can see a link to Rhiannon Space Opera novella out now, Pure Motives. And we got a lot of other stuff going on, but right now we're wandering through the streets of Westgate, and one of us is 3/4 covered in shit, and maybe maybe going to do it justice.
We'll find out.
Going to
Oh,
do it
God,
justice.
he really went Batman.
Oh no, like we don't.
I don't remember the Batman where he gets covered in poo. Anyway, so
I'm sure it happened.
I'm sure
Anything
that
involving Clayface. Anyway,
I'm sure it was a Frank Miller issue. Anyway,
Probably.
let's go.
definitely a very dark night. Anyway, so what was I going to say?
I think I just heard Shipley laugh. That was pretty great.
You did absolutely hear that. Yes. You, Eric, Randy, and Joel all heard something from that alleyway 40 or so feet back on the right. You got up the back of your neck, Eric, and you may have muttered something about a justice.
Keep going. I'll be right back. I have
Nobody else
we
heard that? So you're going to say, both of you will hear it and hear him mutter about the justice, and then he'll say, keep going. I'll be right back. Everyone will look at you like, what?
Yeah, I just walk that way.
There's a woman crying and seems to be in trouble that way. Should we back up Eric? I don't feel comfortable with him going off alone.
I don't know. It's a woman. They, them pronouns.
look. You
Or they.
y'all get our wounded friend and the children to wherever we need to go. I'm going after Eric, and I'll jog after him.
Someone's got to drag my unconscious body away.
May will say, we have wounded. This is not our city. This is not our problem.
And
This is
babies.
my duty. No, thank you.
No, but he's
And-
my problem, and
To claiming ownership of Eric's
But
controversy.
this guy, everyone's problem.
And
Especially Allie's
Is there a way
problem.
that,
Apparently.
how far away was that patrol that was just walked by?
that was easily about 8 minutes away.
Oh, okay.
Rhiannon, and the voice in your head will say, our mission is these babes. He's being reckless again. That is probably a trap designed to ensnare us all. What if it's another vampire?
I mean, then he'll just flash at it with his sword again. But this is internal.
Mhm.
I'm gonna speak back to it.
Okay, so you'll dismiss its concerns.
No, I'm gonna sort of angrily whisper, but the thing is that I don't believe that I'm gonna be able to call Eric back.
He's
So-
dwindling away in the distance.
Yeah, and Allie's going after him. So I'm probably gonna like sort of angrily whisper after Allie, like, we have to save Older and the babes. So I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, I said keep going.
Okay, so that's Eric, that's Allie, that's Rhiannon, Joel and Randy.
No, yeah, you know, I want to support Eric and someone in trouble, but also we have the babies we have injured. Don't know. It could be
Split
yeah.
the party. Split the party. Split the party. Yeah.
My other concern though is how they will find us if we leave. So if we continue on, I feel like we should stay here because they would know where to find us.
May will sigh heavily and say he has 2 or 3 long songs.
Ordar does? Is that what you're
No,
saying?
your friend does. I will
Oh.
tarry here for the length of 2 or 3 long songs, and then we press on without him.
Okay.
I expect you all to find me. I'm the one who smells like a sewer. I'll just wander around.
May, do you have the ability to message someone or send a message magically to someone?
I know a spell that will do that, but I need to rest and study it.
Okay, just in case we do get separated, you might be able to contact Eric again.
There is nothing magically beyond simple tricks that I can do at this point. I've spent my magics for the day.
Okay.
Joel, how about you?
Okay, if she's already said that she's going to wait, I'm going to also follow and back up Eric.
All right, so here's what I've got going. I've got Eric boldly striding down that way. You're feeling good, Eric. You're feeling good about this decision. Allie scrambling after Eric. If he's going to get into trouble, I'm going to get him out of it. And Joel going, well, damn it, I'm not being left behind here either. So, whoosh, that's the 3 of you strung out down that way, headed to the end of the street. Eric, you'll get to the end of that street. Is your weapon out, away?
Oh yeah. Has it started glowing on its own?
Now that you mention it, yeah, it has. It's fairly singing in your hand. So delighted that you've decided to take this course of action.
It glows and sings in the presence of injustice.
Yeah, there you go. And you'll get your glimpse down this alleyway.
That's below.
It is. The light is low. Really, it's just, reflected light from around, the reflected light from the moon. About 80 feet away, like down the alleyway, almost as if they were dragged down there. There's a group of individuals. 3 men that are dressed in red, blue sashes and hats colorfully. They're sort of like long-haired. They look maybe Shao. One of them is on the ground, clutching his stomach, as there is another man over him who has just kicked him. The other 2 are sort of cowering next to that man. The 4 people that aren't these 3 individuals that are in this group are dressed in dark clothes, tunics and breeches, not matched, but all in dark shades of brown or black. And they've got some kind of something smeared on their faces so that nose up, it's blacked out.
Like a
Almost
mask.
like a mask.
Like
Yeah.
a night mask.
Maybe. You'll get to the mouth of that alley, 80 feet away from the action. Somebody might notice what's going on down your way.
Stand away, knaves.
As he's doing that, I am going to put myself next to the mouth of the alley and just press up against the wall.
So it's like there's one crazy person with a flamey thing yelling.
moment, yeah.
Okay.
Covered in shit. Let's be clear.
I just dropped all my dice on the floor. You'll be happy to know. All right. Anyway, okay.
I have had a shitty day and you will not make it worse.
It's kind of comedy gold. This is not right itself. Okay, so Joel, we see what Allie's doing, which is trying not to be seen. And we know what Eric's doing, which is trying to be seen and drawing the attention of these people well down the alleyway. What are you doing?
I'm moving up, positioning myself next to Eric because do any of them have weapons out?
They're carrying an assortment of clubs, 2 of them bigger than the other 2 clubs, and daggers, 2
Let's
smaller than the
go.
other.
Okay, so they've got daggers out. Okay,
Oh.
sword out. Sword out then.
Okay, so you'll draw a blade too. You'll hear an owl hoot. Well, that's kind of odd. Could the 3 of you roll a 20 sided die for me?
Oh, great.
Oh, great.
17.
I rolled 5.
8.
All right. 17, you got nothing. Wow, this place must be thick with owls. Allie, you have a sense of where that came from, like a building around the mouth of this alleyway. And Eric, with your 5, you'll spot it. It's probably a woman, just from the curves on her. She is dressed black tunic, black leggings, black boots, black cloak, and an actual mask on her face.
Right.
She is about 30 feet up at one of the 2 buildings at the mouth of the alleyway, perched on a rooftop. I think that might have been some sort of a signal she sent.
Mm.
Do you want to acknowledge that you know that she's there, or do you wish to plunge down the alleyway to these brigands?
Well, this is clearly a trap. I point my sword at her and I
Okay.
say, "You as well, my lady.
All right.
I shall give you this one chance to walk away."
2 of the men
Gone insane.
Probably.
probably roll anything before they reply.
You should probably run now.
Okay, so here's what happens by way of response. The 2 slightly smaller men with daggers down the alleyway will keep an eye on the 3 men that they are robbing, as the 2 men with clubs will come striding down the alleyway in a half run, half jog towards you and Eric. The woman on the rooftop will glance over in your general direction and jump from one rooftop to another. She's leaving the area.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Okay. So it is about to be the beginning of a new round.
You have made a terrible choice, fools.
What is wrong with you?
I have a job now.
I am gainfully employed. It is the beginning of a new round. You're starting about 60 feet away from the 2 brigands who are trotting down in this direction to join you. Speaking goes first, so if you want to do more pontificating, Eric, do not let me stop you. So you may speak to them. They plan to speak to you as well as they're approaching. But does anyone want to plunge in and attack, attempt to defuse the situation before combat? I've got 3 of you there. I'll start with Joel. What would you like to do this round?
If I mean it, you really want to run. This guy's crazy. I mean, look at the flaming sword.
I'd look at the poop, but I mean, you look at what you want.
It's hard to think it's-
Look
you can
at him.
definitely
He's
see the
coming in
sword, though.
shit.
Okay, so that's what you'll say. And anything else? Do you want to take action or just back him up?
I'm backing you up. If they get close enough to attack, I will. But
Okay, Allie.
I mean, first off, if you could like step back and like lure them slightly out of the alleyway, I might be able to like stick where I am and just be come in from the side. But otherwise, I'll hold for a moment. For the moment, I will my sword's out. I'm ready to like if I need to dart in and stab somebody, but I am
Lurking.
letting them, I'm lurking and letting them think there's only 2 people for the moment.
Gotcha. And Eric.
Oh, Meyer, Doug. The poop Lydon, really? All right. I want to say, I am not going to be the classic lawful stupid paladin. I'm gonna stay here and I'm gonna keep intimidating them because I want to lure them close enough for Allie to get the drop on them. So
Fair
what
enough.
I say is, my friends cannot stop me. You think you have any chance?
Okay. They will
Fair.
say as they're closing in
That's
on
fair.
you.
We
Do you
can't-
have any idea who we are, fool?
I have some idea who you are, and it does not frighten me.
He's covered in shit, one will say to the other.
It's been a shitty day.
That will draw them up short, Eric. They were closing in on you as though they were going to club you. They'll see the sword. That'll at least put some caution into them. But the thing that really sells the idea that you might be mad is the fact that you are covered in poop. And so they don't attack you. They'll end the round about 10 feet away from where you are. Does anyone want to plunge in there after them or just continue to threaten them?
Is the other end of the alley open? Do they have anywhere to retreat to?
Yes,
they
any
chose to
one
do
of
so?
these buildings they could duck between. There's plenty of ways out of that alley.
Okay, so we aren't blocking them from getting out. Okay.
Nope.
Uh,
Okay, so
And
since you're
so
speaking-
many good lines in the chat. I feel like I gotta.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh
Figure them
no.
out.
So when one of them observes that he's covered in shit, I'm gonna look at them with cold, angry, crazy eyes and say, "Don't worry, it's not mine."
That's good. I like that one.
Oh.
And then
The
I'm gonna
one-
point my sword at them and I'm gonna say, "I only see fear and dead men." And then I step forward to attack.
Oh,
The one
God.
that made the observation about your status to the other
Wait,
one
Darth Vader? What the
will say,
Hey,
Rask,
I'm trying to be lawful. All right.
Rask, I think he's mad. And the bigger of the two men, obviously Rask, will say, who are you?
I'm the God's damn Shadow Bane.
Aaron, go ahead and attack these poor men. I'm trying to figure out what your poop-covered madness is all about.
I rolled a 19.
Okay, so you'll definitely hit a night mask guy with coal painting a mask on his face in an alleyway with a club with a 19. So go ahead.
9 points of damage.
9 points of damage. You will strike him down, Eric. You will basically lay a bloody wound across his chest. Eric's pumped up by the excitement and like whatever of this. And you think maybe he's gone a little wacky at this particular moment. The two of you, however, just saw him hack a bloody furrow down a human being. Now, you fought wargs and you fought vampires, but there's a difference between
This is a
seeing
guy,
blood of a
yeah.
person spilled in a freaking alley. The guy didn't even get a shot in on Eric yet, and he's just laid the guy right open. So the two of you will find yourselves a bit stunned and shocked by that. The man, Rask, will go down, clutching the wound and eyes rolling up in his head, so he's clearly out. And the other man will turn and run. Eric, would you like a shot at him?
Yes.
Okay,
my
please
God.
roll a 20-sided die.
So this is the story of
16.
how a bunch of us were acting reasonable and Eric lost his goddamn mind.
16, 10 points of damage.
Absolutely. You will hack him down from behind, Eric. Again, now you guys are alarmed. You're thinking you might need to tell this story to the watch when they arrest you all for murder in this alleyway.
Nope. We are
Eric's
out.
going apocalypse now.
Yeah, okay. So, and this guy will go down again, bleeding freely from a wound. The two men with daggers will run down the end of that alleyway.
Flee, NPCs, flee before my wrath.
Eric, those are people.
Do you
Don't use-
actually
don't-
say,
Yes.
flee
Don't use
NPCs, flee from my wrath, such that alley is then set up to deliver that line, Eric?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Don't
Yeah.
use our names. Don't use our names. Let's go. We've done what we came to do.
Maybe
Let's
we
get out
should
of here.
help those people.
The three people at the end of the alleyway will drag the one on the ground get up, seeing their captors run, and drag the other two will drag that person out of this alleyway because there's a madman at the end of it hacking people down, covered in poo, wielding a flaming sword. Now, maybe that's great news, but I'm not going to stick around and find out what this guy's situation is.
Helm
They're-
protect you. Let's go.
okay, they're just headed away. All
I
right, so
think
those
I'll-
of you
yeah.
down the street, and it's not far down the street, about 60 feet away, will hear all of the things that Eric said. He was not quiet. He was not quiet. You're reasonably certain that whatever it was running across the rooftops probably heard some of that dialogue. And you'll see him turn in glee, blood dripping from his blade. Well, it's actually kind of melting away, right, Eric? Because the fire from it would probably burn the blood away from the blade.
Oh yeah.
As he's coming back from his job well done. The two of you are, Allie and Joel, are a little stunned, but Joel seemed to be the let's get him out of here and not give our names so as not to do whatever. He's in street lawyer mode. And Allie is seemingly concerned that Eric may be losing it and calling people he's hacking in the streets NPCs. Allie, could you roll a 20-sided die for me?
Yeah. 7.
Okay. The people Eric hacked down, they may not be dead. If you guys just leave them there, they probably will bleed to death. Is that a problem?
Cauterize wounds.
I mean,
You're the only one who's thinking this right now. You're the only one who's thinking.
I mean, for me, that might be a problem. We don't know anything about these people or what just happened, and I'm a little shook from everything that just occurred. But I don't have a means of easily helping these people either. So I'm not.
Fair point. Fair point.
Like I have first aid training, but I have no materials, nothing to
Everything.
help.
What's wrong, Allie?
You'll say this as you're rolling up with the rest of the group. What happened? They'll say. Go ahead, Allie. You're first.
Have you gone nuts, Eric? Those were
Uh,
people back there,
This might all be a whole hallucination. I have not.
and you're just
discounted
gonna
that.
operate on that.
Look,
You're acting like a madman. Okay, you just murdered potentially 2 people in that alleyway. Okay,
I cut down 2 brigands in self-defense.
brigands who had kicked a guy.
Brigands who were coming to kill us.
Maybe because
Well,
you
or
threatened
rob
them.
us. You know what? You make a good point.
My point is,
May
you can't-
will go ahead and finish, Allie.
My point is, you can't treat the people we run across like they're NPCs or programs or hallucinations. We're in a place. These are people.
And May will say, whatever befell, I think you might have just poked a sleeping worm. Were those night masks?
Probably.
Great.
You need to be gone from
Yeah,
this.
probably.
Yes, we do. Because those guys, I can't help them. They're probably going to die. Congratulations. And I'll just walk off.
All right. Does Rhiannon or Randy have anything to add to that?
I mean, I don't know if Allie is sort of going far enough ahead that I couldn't catch up with her, but
Oh, I'm sure you
good.
did.
I'm not
Okay.
that far ahead.
as we're sort of leaving, I want to put a hand on your shoulder and be like, thank you for saying that. We're all thinking it.
Someone had to say it. Just we don't know where we are really. What we know fiction. We know small details and snippets about a world that was made up in a book, and we're in a real place. We can't treat it like it's a game.
Yeah.
So you two will trade those remarks. The rest of the group is moving on with greater speed because they're trying to put distance between themselves and what we just did, and also any potential reprisals that might be coming from the person who got away. Randy,
just-
anything?
I'll just put a hand on Eric's arm and be like, "You okay, man?"
You know what? I might be having a crisis, actually.
All right. Well, let's get where we're going, someplace safe.
Un poquito.
Eric, have you got the shakes?
Yeah. Like my mental state is not the best.
Okay.
I'm not going to actually ask you this question, Eric. I'm going to ask you this question, but you're not obligated to answer it as an attorney. I'm giving you that.
No,
advice.
I have not killed any people.
Yeah, I
ever
was
in
just
my
going to
life.
say, you ever killed a man, Eric?
I have been around dead bodies, but I
Okay.
did not make them dead.
Fair enough.
That's an important thing. Yeah, no, I'm shit. Okay, you know what, Joel, help me out here, buddy. I hand him the sword.
All right. The flames in it had already gone out when you returned to the rest of the party.
Well, I extend the sword to him.
Yep.
Say, would you just hold on to this for a while?
I think that might be a good idea, so I go ahead and take it.
Okay.
And but
It
I'll
feels
pass it.
excellently balanced and light in your hands. It's a magnificent weapon.
I will return the long sword that he handed me,
Yep,
so that
okay.
way he is not unarmed. And yeah, let's get you someplace where you can work through some stuff. So let's go.
Yeah,
All
that's a
right.
good idea.
May will resume taking you upon your circuitous journey to your destination. You'll pass through across Naga Way and down some other sections of the city that are getting to look a little bit better as you go. First one that, sort of has potholes and some damage, but is better than the dark area that you were passing through before. And finally onto a street that actually looks pretty nice in terms of its decor. And as you do so, this one has street lamps burning brightly. Streets and thresholds of every building have been swept. There's no sewage about. There's nice decorations everywhere. And as you're coming down this lane, and the night is getting later and later, cobblestones now back under your feet. May points as she sees her destination in the distance. On the northern side of the street, she's pointing to a 2-story stone wood townhouse, and you will all move over to in front of it. As you arrive, it is late at night, but not quite so late that the dawn is beginning to peek over the horizon. So it's that false dawn of we're not quite at dawn, but we're quite late in the night. And the building is a 2-story stone and wood townhouse with a turret. It's kind of like a Realms brownstone. It's 2-story manor house, main house, couple of side sections, one sort of recessed more than the other on the left-hand side, recessed a little bit more than the section on the right-hand side. It's about 100 or so feet long and less that distance, maybe half of it or a little bit more than half of it deep. It has recessed grand double doors up a short flight of stone steps to a landing. The windows are barred and boarded on the first floor. The setback section on the left-hand side is about 30 feet setback from the main house. It's a sort of it has a second story. The first floor slightly bigger than the second. The first floor looks like it was some sort of a sunroom or a greenhouse, but that appears to be boarded up. And the second floor has the turret on it, on the left-hand side. There's a fireplace going, as you can see from smoke coming from the chimney, on the portion of the main house where that 30-foot section, before it's recessed on the left. So on the left wall of the main house. On the right section, that's only set back about 5-ish feet from the main house. And that looks like, a portion of the main house, maybe where there's sort of like a master suite set on maybe the second floor of that particular building. It has a low wall with a wrought fence around the right-hand side that runs around the back that maybe encloses a garden or something similar. Rhiannon and Eric,
Yeah.
you get sort of like a chill that rolls up your spine while you're looking at this place.
Mhm.
You want to roll a twice-sided die for me?
Of course I do.
13.
Okay. So both of you will get a weird sort of feeling of deja vu, right? You don't know why, but there's just a familiarity. You're looking at something that you've either seen in a picture someplace before, heard described, or are somehow familiar with. While you are engaged in these musings, the May will have trundled up the steps to the main doors of what once was this or is this noble townhouse or tall house that's seen better days. And she'll begin pounding on the main doors, which will jolt you out of your reverie, right? Like, oh my God, she's just pounding away on these doors, which is echoing down this darkened street. And she pounds for a good 30 seconds before a voice from inside the house replies. What are you guys doing while she's doing that?
Should we go around to a side entrance? Servant's entrance? Somewhere less conspicuous?
You will say
Too
that
late
to May?
now.
I'll say that to me. I mean, well,
Yeah.
She will ignore
yes,
you.
I will say that to me. Okay.
I'm just keeping watch.
Allie, do you recognize this place?
I mean, do I? Like, that's the
I
question.
feel like I recognize it, but
It
I would
isn't
know more
as-
lore than
It isn't as familiar to you, Allie, as it is to Rhiannon and Eric.
Okay. I don't think so. I'm not sure
No.
though.
And Randy, what do you do?
I'm just holding the baby, cooing it, and keeping an eye on the street.
Got it.
Maybe kind
She's gonna wake somebody up with that pounding if somebody doesn't open that door reasonably soon. But as I said, a voice will call out from inside. Name yourself, lass. You and your friends are calling quite late. Gruff voice, male voice, deep tone to it. May will reply, May of the Folly, here to see Mistress Jamal. You'll hear the sound of many bolts and locks being turned and thrown on these main double doors. Now that you're observing the main double doors, they look like they've been repaired. They're composed of wood. They have a feather in the center of them and sort of entwined roses along the edges of the design. That is less familiar to you all. As they come, blum, 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 the door, one of the two doors will swing open, and a dwarf. This is the first dwarf you've seen. He looks old without being really, really old. So he's probably, if you were a human, he'd probably be in his 60s or 70s. As a dwarf, who knows exactly how old he would be. He is dressed as though he is a butler or steward in grays and browns, and he's holding two items of interest. One is a very large cocked crossbow aimed out at you. And the other, in his other hand, is a golden disc symbol on a chain. He'll look out at the group warily, and you can sense that behind him, there's probably other people lurking in the entry hall. Allie, you'll put your hands up.
baby.
Yeah, the crossbow. Like,
Look at Randy, be like, baby. Hold out the baby.
Maybe. He'll say to May, Mistress Jamal wasn't expecting you until tomorrow, lass. And who are your friends? She will reply to him, I'm sorry, Varys, but we were set upon by a creature, a vampire, near the way in. And my friend Oldor, she's pointing to him, was sorely wounded. I'm hoping Mistress Jamal will know how to get him help. The dwarf will say, a vampire? Was he bitten? She'll say, yes, I gave him a potion, but he's so weak, he needs healing. Most troubling, miss. The dwarf calls back over his shoulder. Mistress Jamal, she says her friend was bitten. There's someone coming out of the darkness to join you on the step. What do you guys want to do as they're moving about? Joel, anything?
Stand there and try to look not threatening while I support Oldorf.
I'll be like, I think the bite has to kill them for anything weird to happen.
You'll say that?
Yeah.
Okay. Eric?
Not on the neck though, right? It was on the neck.
Yeah, it's like that's where all the scarring
Okay,
is
I'm
now.
not gonna
Did
say
we
anything
check to
then.
make sure he still has a,
I'm not
we
gonna,
didn't check to make sure he still has a pulse, does he? Did we?
Oh, he's still alive.
He's
He's
definitely still alive.
respirating.
Okay.
He's respirating.
Okay.
Rhiannon, anything in particular other than holding forth a baby?
You should probably stand away from me. Look how
I mean,
this isn't mine. Don't worry.
actually, what I will do is be like, the whatever else you think of, these babes need sanctuary.
She's right, May will say, to support your point. Randy?
Yeah, I'll just nod to Rhiannon and said,
She'll shake her head. She'll look across you all, eyes drawn first to the babies that you're holding up, right? And then to Eric. Eric, roll 20-sided die.
Uh-huh. That would be sorry, these dice are a little hard to read. 7.
That was a look of vague recognition,
Oh,
almost like
great.
she might have known who you were.
Uh-huh.
It'll take her a moment, only a moment, to notice that you're covered in poo.
Yeah.
And
It's
that'll
not-
draw
it's
her
not
attention.
mine,
away
my
from
lady.
you. You'll say, it's not mine, my lady. She'll chuckle and she'll say, find her pride. I haven't seen a troupe this ragged since one of my midwinter street performances. May, lass, let's get you and your friends and these babies in out of the night. But first, be a good girl and have everyone take a nip out of this. She'll toss a crystal flask with a stopper to May. Just a sip now. And May will uncork the flask and take a tentative sip, handing it back to the nearest person behind her. Who would
I'll
that
take
be?
it.
Okay, Eric will
Okay.
step boldly forward, grabbing the flask. Okay, Eric, do you want to sniff it first, or are you just going to nip this?
I'm just gonna nip that.
Okay, it is a slightly oily consistency to it, as you put it in your mouth, and it smells slightly fragrant. Okay, who will you hand it to next?
I'll take it next.
Yep, I handed to Allie.
Yeah. All
Okay.
right. I'll take a nip.
Okay,
Hand it on.
you will have heard the same description that I just gave to Eric
Mhm.
in terms of how it tastes. It's got a slipperiness to it. It's cut with oil of some kind or another, like
Yeah.
maybe a vegetable oil or something like that. And it has a scent to it. Next.
I'll take it. Oh, go ahead.
Alright.
Okay,
Okay.
Either
so
way.
I'll take it and I'll pause with it part way to my mouth and go, holy water, and take a nip.
She will say, yes, very adroit of you. You did mention vampires after all.
A reasonable precaution.
Stands to reason.
And hand it off to
Very sensible.
I'll take it.
Rhiannon.
Yeah.
Okay.
And knowing what it is, I will have no hesitation to taking a little bit,
Got it.
Randy.
Your voice in your head will say, what do we really know about this woman?
She has what we currently need. I thought you wanted the babes to be safe.
Practical. I approve. Okay. And Randy.
sure, I'll put my thumb over it and go.
So you're going to attempt to fake them out.
And then
Why?
because it's
Okay.
oily, water shouldn't be oily.
The red mark.
Roll a 20-sided die for me, Randy. Actually, roll percentile dice for me, Randy.
Okay.
Randy was getting jealous that I was doing all the crazy.
That must be it.
35.
All right. Despite the fact that they're rather strictly watching you all engage in this, you managed to just slip one by them. You tilted it as appropriate, and they just didn't detect it. You just fooled them.
Oof.
Excellent. Also, I had thought maybe to do it on the babies, but then I'm like, wait a second, maybe their nature would not react well to it. So I don't even. mention
Funny
it,
you
so I'm
should
thinking it.
say that, Randy, because as you're about to hand the bottle off to Oldor, she says,
Mhm.
and if you could just sprinkle a drop or two on the babes.
Hmm.
That should be
Okay.
fine, right?
I
Joel
mean,
will say that should be fine,
Right.
right? Is there
people
something?
who know these, I won't say lore, people who know this stuff, is this going to be a problem?
Shouldn't be.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. If assuming that they are what they appear to be, no.
Okay.
Jamal will say, is there a concern for 2 babies?
No, but you're the one asking
They're
to put
not
the oil
ours
on it. Why
either.
would you be concerned about babies?
Well, so okay, I'm
Technically,
good.
well, they're
I-
in our protection. We don't
I'm
want
gonna
any
go
harm to
ahead.
come to them.
And partially like unwrap one enough.
So that she can see what she
Yeah.
can see. And she'll go, huh? For the 100th time, if Mintassin wasn't off pursuing his own crazy schemes, he'd be here to answer some of these questions for me. I think I know what we're dealing with.
Yeah, that damn Mintassin's so unpredictable, right?
Well, I'm glad someone here does, and I'm hoping you can tell us.
So if you could just hand Oldor the bottle. Okay, Oldor will take it and he'll take a swig because he's trying to point out he's not dangerous. I don't want to die on the street. Please let me in the nice house.
He's probably real thirsty too. I mean,
and-
have we given him any water?
He hasn't
The
had
dude's
the
suffering.
replacement- the
Do we have
replacement,
any?
you know.
He had a
We
potion.
haven't- Yeah, true, but it's not a lot of water. Anyway, so he'll take a swig of it, come out of that experience just fine, and she'll usher you forward into the entryway. You all want to go in?
Yes.
Okay. As you cross the threshold and enter the foyer, you'll notice that this room is about 20 by 20, wood floors. It has a semicircular exit as you come in. So the walls are sort of square with the exception of the wall farthest from you, which sort of curved a bit. It's lit by an oil lamp on a table in the back right. It has a sweeping semicircular staircase that leads on the back left-hand side of the room to the second floor, which is open to the first floor. There are 4 exits. The stairs up, an open archway on the left that leads to a sitting room with a fireplace with a fire happily burning, a narrower tunnel archway on the north wall leading into a hallway that leads left and right from there, and a delicate wood and glass paneled door on the right wall to a large dining room with a big table and chairs. Rhiannon, you have an expression on your face.
I mean, I'm not good with like visualization, but like
It's
I'm-
definitely Briar House, right?
Yep.
That's where
Pretty
my head
sure.
was going. Yeah.
Okay, so as you begin to put that together, you will get a chill go up your spine and you will say, oh crap, I think I recognize this place. I think I recognize this place. Could this possibly be? You are now actively thinking that as you're hearing me describe the place. It's well made, plain decor, but it's messy and battered as though it's been prepared for a siege. And as the doors close behind you, you'll notice that they have newly installed iron bars, garlic cloves hung up around them, and that there is some sort of a symbol, a harp on a gray background tacked above the door as though it was meant to be a holy symbol.
I suppose that should be reassuring.
Is it?
Oh.
They can be pretty
Maybe.
ruthless too.
Maybe.
No, I know what this is. I know what this is. It's like that. It's Finder Wyvern Spur.
Right.
Mhm.
Yes.
Holy
Okay.
Symbols of Harp.
Yep.
Mhm.
So you'll be thinking that to yourselves as she guides you into the sitting room on the left. She lays Oldor out on a big shao rug in front of the fire, and 2 other individuals emerge from the side rooms.
I do not follow her into the sitting room because I am still covered in shit.
Valid.
Do you wish to stop and say, Madam,
My
I
lady,
have the poo on me?
my lady, can I prevail upon your hospitality to deal with this?
I'm looking forward to the story about how you ended up that way.
It is a shitty story.
It's a story. It's a story.
She'll chuckle. She'll call out, "Mercy!" And one of the two people that was stepping forth from the shadows, a girl, a half-elven girl, slight, teenage, perhaps, just into her teen years, dark, straight hair, sort of blue-black, so she's probably a moon elf by descent in terms of her half-elven heritage, will emerge, come to her side, look at you, look away, and go to fetch something to clean you off with. It occurs to me that I didn't give you a full description of the mistress of the house.
You did not.
She is a woman in her 50s or 60s. She has Mediterranean complexion. Her hair is graying, but it's sort of curly. There's a little bit of red left in it. It's tucked away in a garish red silk headscarf. And she is wearing a flowery housecoat. She is leaning heavily on a cane, as one of her legs has clearly sorely been injured at some past point in time, and that has limited her continuing mobility. And she has a wand tucked into the belt of her housecoat. Okay. So her name was given as Jamal. As I said, you're in that room. The other person who will come to assist you is a tall, spindly looking lad in his early 20s, who will help her lay Oldor out on the ground. Again, straight hair, brownish, white complexion. He's taking orders from the dwarf who appears to be the steward or seneschal of this place. They're assisting Oldor on the ground, along with her and May. She'll gesture to a couch in the left-hand side to the left of the fireplace, and a set of chairs, 4 in number, also to the left, and say, "Please be seated while we see to your friend. You may wish to wait for Mercy to return with some rags." You have a moment where you can talk amongst yourselves.
I feel like I've been just kind of quiet, like for the most part, ever since the little outburst in the street. So
I'm still in the entryway and they're in the sitting room, right?
That is correct. You can go into the sitting room, you just can't sit on anything, was the request.
And there's no one else in there?
The entryway is empty. They've locked and barred the doors. Everyone else has moved into the sitting room. There may be other people somewhere in this house, but you aren't aware.
Lady of the house is in the sitting room?
Lady of the house is in the sitting room, along with May, the dwarf, and the lanky lad, all attempting to assist Oldor. The woman, the girl, really, went off to get you something. She went to a kitchen, which is sort of directly located across from, this place is the total layout of Briar House.
Yep, gotcha. Right. Well, I will look at everybody and convey that I am terribly sorry for my actions, and I wish to speak with you when we have a private moment. Which kind of looks like.
And I'll just say, take care of yourself, Eric. Go. A bath will work wonders. Sure.
So just to be clear, we're far enough away that we can have a private conversation.
You can whisper amongst yourselves, yes, if that's what you want to do.
Hey guys, so when May offered up a little prayer of thanks to someone named Finder, I am not familiar
Wyvern
with that.
Spur.
Okay,
Finder
who is
Wyvern
that?
Spur.
Okay.
Wandering Bard, it's a god.
Okay.
I mean, it's not a bad deity, at least as far as I remember.
Okay, so that harp does not mean that they're harpers?
Yeah, that
Or
the best I could do.
that is
That was
not
my
no easy mistake to make. I feel like
Okay.
the Finder's holy symbol is a harp. So
There's some overlap.
okay.
there's a little bit.
Could be,
Okay.
but that's the symbol for the deity.
Okay, so like high level, May suggested that we could leave the babies here. And I think they are safer somewhere not with us. And we were pushing to get older to help, and we have. So, assuming that they don't like require us to like do a fetch quest to earn, you know, their help or something, right? We're gonna have to pick something to do after we leave here. And I don't have answers, but we should start thinking that direction. Because I want to, stupid video, pardon me. I would like to go home. So
I mean, the
that
idea
would be
of
my goal.
yeah, the idea of being in the fantasy realm is pretty awesome in concept, but I don't like. It's we've been covered in poo, almost died, and multiple times, and Eric's like on shaky ground right now. I don't, you know. So
Yeah, I think
I
if
don't
any
wanna
of us
see
should
what
go
this-
home, it's Eric.
I don't see why. I want to see what this ends up doing to us in the long run. So yeah, I mean, getting home seems like a good priority.
You say that.
If-
Rhiannon,
Hmm?
your voice in your head is back.
Mhm.
You haven't learned a thing. I can't teach you if we aren't here. And Allie, your voice in your head is back. You haven't even gone to sleep.
I know I don't intend on going anywhere just yet. In fact,
Is that-
honestly,
Or out loud.
out loud.
Okay.
Oh, I filed that away. Look, I get your priorities and I get the desire to go home, but I don't know. I feel like I'd be doing all the younger versions of me that wish to come to a place like this, a place with magic, a place with, you know, all that, yes, danger, but mystery and wonder and all this other stuff that we can only imagine. A disservice if I just left.
Well, I think that
Oh.
I mean, it's not like we know we can snap our fingers and go home.
Right,
I imagine
right.
we're still
Gonna
going to
be
have
a
to figure out
process.
how to get
If I-
home,
If I
And-
can help, yeah.
learn magic along that way, and maybe do some good in this world. Maybe we'll find a purpose in this world that motivates us to stay. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it's hard to find
Well,
have much impact in our world sometimes, but
I think in order to before we can even make that decision, we have to figure out what brought us here, because the key to getting home, if that's what we choose to do, is probably tied to how we got here in the first place.
Hmm.
So does anybody have ideas about what's going on?
other
Eric,
than
what did
being
what did
marked
Helm
by
say
it.
to you?
Has Mercy come back yet?
Yes, she has. She's standing
Oh.
a considered distance away because you guys appear to be in conversation.
Okay.
Well, I'll step
I
back.
was separated from the group a little bit. Like I communicated something to them and then I was waiting because I don't want to
Got
get poop on the sitting room floor.
That's very kind of you. All right, so Randy,
Trying
you'll
to be a
ask that
gracious
question.
guest.
You'll ask that question, but it's clear that Eric is now going to be involved in attempting to depoopify himself.
Yeah.
Got it.
And,
So
and I,
it's
I
just
want to
you.
say something to the voice.
Yes,
like,
go
in a
ahead.
quiet moment. So after conversation, I'm going to say, I haven't forgotten about you. You called me pragmatic, and I am here to learn as a means to an end. And I think you will not be shocked by this, but just to lay that out there, I'm looking to learn so that I can get home.
That is reasonable. Just know that being here and opening the conduits that are available in this place will grant you power that you cannot have there, even if I teach it to you here. To use it, you must use it here, and it is your birthright. But you do as you will.
And like,
Share that with the
Yeah.
group.
I'll add, by the way, like I'll gladly help. You know, if going home is what y'all want to do, I'll help. But there are things here that I could potentially get access to that I couldn't there. And God knows, even if I found them here, if I'd even be able to take them back with me.
Eric is being depoopified.
Oh, good.
She has a scrub brush, Eric, and she's working on it.
I mean, I think that's more than fair, Allie. I'm glad that you're willing to and it's going to be a process. I'm glad that you're willing
Well,
to
yeah.
help us. But
I'm not gonna
wherever you
not
need
help.
wherever you need to diverge for yourself,
Mhm.
that's understandable. I just, that's where I'm going to be going.
Valid.
I lean over and say to Mercy, you might want to have a bucket available for him. There is a very
Oh,
good
I have
chance he's
several
going to-
buckets, sir. Several.
an empty one, because there's a good chance he's going to be sick soon.
Oh, I see.
Just-
A
May
moment.
happen, may not, but be
Whoosh.
ready.
Off she goes to look for the empty bucket.
I mean,
Mhm.
Doesn't want him to
My-
be sick on that shell carpet.
Thanks for
Yeah.
that.
yeah.
Joel, as an
My-
officer, were you trained in essentially helping counsel people through a situation?
Maybe a little. I mean, maybe a little.
All right. Well,
I
while
paid
she's
attention around
gone,
the chaplain.
Yep.
So first, I wish to apologize for my actions. I have been having a difficult time with this transition, and I did not mean to take it out on you or on those people. Secondly, I think I got you into this mess, so it is my job to get you out of it. Whatever you choose to do, I will support you until you are all happy, whether that's being home or being here and happy. Allie, we're going to set you up with the change dance. That's going to happen. Don't worry about it. Randy? Yes. Rhiannon, you are our designated wizard. We're going to
The
train
designated
you up.
wizard.
We're going to train you up to be powerful enough to teleport yourself and anyone who wants to go with you back home. Joel, thank you for taking care of me. Randy, I'm coming back to you now. Please don't get us all killed. Okay.
Is wizard the only kind of Tui spellcaster?
Unfortunately, well, it's complicated, but
This
Oh,
is the
okay.
first year of 3rd edition, so maybe not.
there might
Oh.
be sorcerers around.
The
Yeah, I know.
the voice in your head, Rhiannon says,
Yes.
the power is in your blood. It is the power of fire.
F wizardry.
Rhiannon,
Book
do
learning.
you know
Warlock it
something
is.
we don't? Because you're smiling real big right now.
We established that there wasn't message spells to anybody else, right? Before, when I was asking that,
Right.
voice in your head.
Eric told you that the message spell didn't even exist yet, although
think
May
I
seems to
will-
have contradicted that.
I'm sure
the-
there's a spell that can send messages.
At the mention of voices in your head, I will sit up a bit straighter, a little bit. Are you hearing things?
Yes, I think.
Okay. So is anyone else? Because
His mark glowed red. Ours glows red. Randy, do you hear a voice?
You've heard no voices so far, Randy. Just those of your friends. Randy is
Oh, no, frozen.
hearing one right
Well-
now. Hearing a voice.
Oh no!
Well, this isn't quite the
Okay.
same thing, but I was summoned to speak with Helm. Does that count?
Potentially.
I mean, kind of. That explains a few things.
But
It-
Helm
it does.
probably didn't sound like you, right? He sounded like
No,
otherworldly.
Eric, he did not
Okay.
sound like you. No,
Okay.
sounded
No,
like you.
I could do a lot of voices, but that one was
So-
a lot.
Okay.
I-
Okay.
I-
So at least two
I
of
have
us
Yeah, I have not heard voices, but I did get some visions before I met up with you guys. Just a vision of you guys specifically.
Oh,
Okay. It's something. But yeah, I've heard a voice a couple times now. That did sound a bit like myself, but different.
Yeah. Like you wouldn't mistake it.
Yeah. Although it's been frustratingly cryptic, which
Okay.
honestly makes me think it might be a god or something. I don't know. That's what they do.
What does the voice sound like?
We just
Um,
told you it sounds like us.
Kind of
And what has it told you?
It sounds like you.
sibilant,
Yes.
kind of, I don't know. It's
You get an almost sensual thrill when it talks to you, Allie. That's not
Oh.
something Rhiannon has gotten.
okay. I will.
Uh-huh.
I might not. So then I would probably blush considerably and go, I mean,
Okay, so
uh,
Allie's voice is her, but like real sexy. Okay.
oh,
Sorry, I didn't mean to imply anything by that. I'm saying there are a
Oh,
number
you're
of sex
not-
demons
you're
that
not
could be talking to
wrong.
you at any time.
You're
You'll
not
notice
wrong.
You'll notice that Mercy was rolling right up on you with that pail, just as you said. There are a number of sex demons. She will turn around and head in the opposite direction,
Look,
dropping the pail on the
Oh.
ground.
all it's said to me so far is that I'd learn more when I sleep.
Hey, Allie,
Hmm.
your voice will say to you, it's struggling to communicate with you, can only speak to you in your dreams.
Oh, like I will sit up. I will sit up a little bit straighter then. Like, oh,
Did she say something to you?
that she can only speak to me in my dreams.
So in
Okay.
your dream
But-
right now, because she
okay,
spoke to you to tell you that she can
yeah,
only speak to you.
It
in your
sounded.
dreams?
It sounded like she was straining to manage even that though.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so this is sort of a dream. So I only sort
I
of
don't-
murdered two people.
No, no,
let's
you
not
definitely
count on
murdered.
that.
Okay, I definitely murdered two people, right?
Yeah.
Mercy, where's that bucket?
She dropped it. She dropped it right at your feet as she ran. You were
In the
talking about
bucket.
sex demons. Okay,
Yep,
so
okay,
Eric,
yep, pull it all out.
Th-
my
this sounds
God.
to me like, like ask them for, we should probably like get some water or watered wine, and like maybe some food because we didn't eat at the Giant's Folly, and then
Ugh.
like try to sleep and not worry about like where we're going yet, like if they'll give us time
Yeah.
to sleep.
Yeah, we need sleep. We're probably gonna need new clothes because I mean we stink.
you do.
I mean, I want to try to wash mine. I'm
my-
really in
my-
favor of my like really
the very-
good athletic shoes for long journeys as opposed to like rando boots.
I mean, I would like some boots instead of these ratty old sneakers that I'm wearing. That would be nice. I might as well go whole hog and go for the entire outfit.
All of my
Especially-
clothes are destroyed except for my jacket because I would have taken my jacket off before I waded into the sewer. So I have a jacket.
Yeah, and my jacket's destroyed because I use it to soak up blood.
All right, you
so
can have my jacket.
Coming over behind you,
I'm okay
Eric,
for now.
as you're voiding yourself into this bucket, is Jamal, who will gently place a hand on your shoulder and ask if you're okay.
Yes, my lady, I appreciate the concern. I have, it's been a trying day.
You look familiar.
Is that so? I
Yes.
suppose a gentlewoman of your persuasion knows a great many people.
She will smile like the cat that ate the canary when you make that statement.
Mhm.
And she will say, you wouldn't be a cousin or brother to poor Beldris, would you?
I do not know that name, my lady.
Thalavar? Do you know that name?
I do recognize that name.
You've the long, lean look of a member of the Thalavar family. One bastard line in particular about you.
Ah, Well, my parents are not in this world. So
I am sorry for your loss, she will say.
yes, it has been a trying day, like I said.
You
You are the famous thespian Jamal, are you not?
Ah, so word of me has spread, has it? Indeed.
I have heard certain things of you, and they were all good.
Although performances of my troupe have diminished considerably since the tragedy that befell us 2 months ago, and I doubt I'll be able to offer much more than a token performance tomorrow during midsummer and another on Shieldmeet. I don't suppose any of you would happen to be bards, would you?
We all look at Randy.
I suppose I would aspire to be one. I would be happy to lend whatever meager skills I have to aid you.
My friend here has a wonderful singing voice.
What talents do you have, lad? The city's in need of cheap heroes.
Well, that describes me well. I have an okay singing voice, and I can juggle. I can dance. I can. What else would be entertaining in these times?
Have you ever done a puppet play?
Actually have.
Lad, I'll feed you and put you up here for the short term if you're happy to join my troupe tomorrow and the day after. I've need of puppeteers.
If that aligns with the plans of the rest of my group, then in terms of staying here for the next couple of days, I would be glad to.
I'm not going to stop you.
We need food and rest and to form a base to form plans, right?
Rest,
So-
My friend
bath.
Joel here and I can
Joel.
stage fight.
Did you just shove an
Oh, really?
apostrophe in there?
I did. It is the fantasy way.
Then it is the possibility
couple
that I
of
may be
Z's.
able. It is the possibility that I may be able to help you all. I'm very interested to hear your story, although it is quite late or quite early, depending upon how you would describe it. And I don't want to deny you a chance for sleep and
Of
food.
course. Nor would we wish to take advantage of your
So
hospitality.
I'm
in such a
happy
way.
to hear more about it tomorrow and to put you up here in the turret. In the meanwhile, however, before I do that, I'm going to have to know what, if any, connection you have to the Thalabars. Lady Thistle is a friend, although our relationship is more strained than it used to be. And I sent Beldrith's wife, his widow, son, and newborn daughter to her for help just 2 days ago.
I see. Though I know the name and respect the young lady, I have never met any member of the Thalabar family.
Very well. Well, you're the spitting image of Beldrith. I'll tell you that much.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
He was a good man, a small hero.
So a bad thing in Westgate is what you're saying.
He was a member of the Watch. He just wasn't a Tyrion like the rest of them. He worshipped Helm.
Yes.
I understand he died on the street not too long ago, defending some woman who the Tyrians were pursuing. Some woman from the north. I didn't get much information about her.
I see.
May will look right at her like she's trying to get her attention. Look over at the babies like she's trying to make a point.
Well then.
And Jamal will smile.
We
And
shall
on that
speak-
note,
we shall speak more.
yes. And on that note, she'll say, you've the look, the feel of cheap heroes about you. A cheap hero is an everyday hero. One of those, not one of those highfalutin, noble-born, kill a dragon before breakfast, always get the girl heroes, but your regular type hero. The merchant who doesn't cheat widows and orphans, the neighbors who bring you hot meals when you're sick, the kid who stops the pickpocket and who grabbed your purse, the fisherman who paid a protection racketeer with the racketeer's own teeth, the fest hall girl who testified at a murder trial and had to leave the town. There are apprentices and journeymen who help the farmers guard their fields so no one could start a brush fire to drive up the price of grain and start a famine in the surrounding regions. I tell their stories.
Well, we hope to give you stories to tell.
I suspect you will. I didn't get your name, fellow thespian.
Randonius Imperius Hendersonius Maximus.
Well done, or well met, Randonius. And on that note, we shall break for the evening.
Huzzah!
Oh boy. All right. Thank you everyone for watching our increasingly existential dread filled game here. I have been Scott to be often a DM on this stream. I am DMing next week as we are doing our next episode of Westgate Irregulars Destiny, which will cap off our years-long campaign with Randy, Rhiannon, and Yang and Aaron, and just all the regular dungeon scrawlers playing in this game. And we're capping it off. Please come join us. It'll be fun. I launched my Kickstarter. It goes live on Friday. You can do !justice in the chat, and it'll give you a link to go and be an early adopter, watcher, and you'll get a notification. Otherwise, you can find me on Twitter as long as Twitter is around, probably commenting about D&D stuff, because that seems to be what people are commenting about these days. So on that note, take it away, Rhiannon.
Hey, I've been Rhiannon. Check out my urban fantasy, Rhiannon Held, space opera, RZ Held. Book 6 is now out in my novella series. Put a link in the chat. And tonight, thank you to our moderators who are here playing, and also Doug, who is in the chat.
Awesome.
Well, all right. Well, I am Alexander Pitchford. As I said at the top of the show, I am a writer, game designer, and TTRPG streamer. You can often find me sometimes here doing various things, either in the chat or increasingly these days on the stream, or Tuesday mornings, I believe, or Wednesday mornings, Tuesday mornings. I don't know. Time is a flat circle.
It sure is, Rust. It sure is.
Tuesday mornings on twitch.tv/polishcryptid, we are doing a D&D campaign called The Wandering Menagerie, which is as meandering but also as fascinating as it sounds. And then I do have a Patreon at patreon.com/Alexandra Pitchford, where I am putting up fiction and the like, and I'll probably even be throwing up some game content, game mechanical stuff soon. So please stay tuned to that. And that's about it for me. Hey.
Hello, everybody. I've been Joel Everett. I do not have any shows coming up in the near future because this is a dead time of the year for fireworks from basically New Year's until about April or so. But if you're in the Philly area and you'd like to help change that, go to pyrotechnico.com and schedule a show. But other than that, come hang out on the Discord. Cool people talking about interesting things, mostly gaming stuff, but lots of other stuff as well. So come chat.
Hi, I'm Randy. And thank you very much to Cruciferous Kale, Cosmic Gnostic, Letty Star Fire, and Jobri for donating to the Trevor Project. It's a wonderful cause, saves lives, and helps LGBTQ youth in crisis. And thank you to everyone for your continued subscriptions and viewership and supporting the stream. We really appreciate it. Chris?
And I am Chris, the DM who will cover you in poo. I look forward to exploring the dreams and destinies of the remaining players, all suspiciously pooless at this time.
Thanks so much, Rhiannon. Take us out.
I'll take us out. Until next time, may your rolls and your word count be equally high.
Woo-hoo.